know some of you. This is my son Mike. We work for a company called National Fidelity Mortgage. We're really good at what we do. The only thing we don't do are construction loans. But everything else we do. We close on time. We do 30-day closes. And you can also put somebody on the phone. And we're in-house, we're lenders, so everything's done right for us.
I'm just the weightlifter guy.
I bring for eye care.
That's right, exactly.
I love working with Sarah.
We love working with Sarah, she did a great job. And I also want to introduce Scott Alvarez.
Perfect.
Sarah asked me for a place to hold your meeting. I teed it up. Scott and I have worked together before. He does a lot, including construction loans, so this is Scott with Achieva.
Before Scott goes, I just want to give Joanne and Mike a little plug. They close loans with us, and they're phenomenal. They close on time. They get the best rates. They do a really good job for people. So if you guys need somebody, they're great.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Scott,
Good morning, my name is Scott Alvarez. I'm a loan officer with Achieva.
you're in the right side, you want to put the spotlight right there.
I'll tell you where you are, because just about probably half a dozen of you already asked, what is this place? This is our corporate headquarters. It's not open to the public. So we call our clients members. Our membership territory for our brick and mortar locations are as far north as Pasco, in Newport Richie, and Land Lakes. We've got 2 new branches in Trinity, as far south as Naples. So you probably, how many here have heard of the Achieva Credit Union? How many people have heard of the Pinellas County School Teachers Credit Union? That's what we used to do. So how long do you think we've been around? You guys?
85 years.
No, 81. 81? Yeah, we're on 81st year. That said, I'll tell you a little bit about me.
Yeah.
And then a little bit more about what we do. I've been, this month makes my 28th year in the Northern Mortgage Lending. This is all I've done in my adult life.
Started when you were 2.
I was 19. I think you.
Yeah, I'm a sales guy. Hey, you got a house on the block?
There was a time at 19 trying to pitch mortgages and people don't take you seriously. Now I'm starting to feel like I've aged, right? So February is my 28th anniversary. I left the broker world in 2012. I come and work here, so I'm on my 6th year at Achieva. That said, I came here because we are different than the majority of your lenders, and I can say that with the experience that I've had.
Even with another lender in the room, you have full.
She will tell you I love. I'm giving her 2 hugs this morning. So, you don't have to think of me on the Fannie Freddie stuff, the 30 or 15 year fix. What I think you might want to burn in your brain are the items that are on this paper. And it's one of the reasons I love the broker world to come and do this. So we are, the best way to describe Achieva is we're well funded. We're not stingy with loan amounts. I do really large loan amounts. So I had burned in my brain because I was also a member of USF Credit Union and GP Credit Union. Kind of credit unions aren't really geared towards the larger denomination. I can tell you that our regularly loans that exceed $1 million as a loan amount. All right. So we fund loans up to that amount. Neat things, and I'm just using this as sort of a cheat sheet for myself. Everything is headquartered right here in this building. We don't outsource your underwriting to Alabama, like Fitch Regions, or California, or Wells Fargo. Realtors say, oh wow, when they hear this. We don't use appraisal management companies. No AMCs. We use our own list of appraisers, and if they don't perform, they're off that list.
Because they're not Fannie Freddie. Portfolio lenders can do what they want.
Right. We lend our own money so we can make our own rules.
Absolutely.
You heard about something that's really cool. One of those rules came within a minute. I want to stay on the list here. We will allow non-traditional comparables. That's something that comes in super handy when you're a portfolio lender. So what's a non-traditional comparable? As a realtor, you have it made when you can use public records like the MLS or the county records for what a house sold for. Well, guess what? Every house that you see right now was once newly constructed. And all that's ever publicly known is what the dirt sold for, not the house. So we will allow a builder to say, oh yes, well I'm charging $500,000 for this house. I also built this house for the Smith and the Jones. As long as they provide us proof that that transaction closed. A settlement statement and a contract will tell the appraiser you need to consider this as a comparable.
That's pretty good.
That's really strong. That saves, actually that makes every one of my custom homes because custom homes just don't appraise. They can't keep up. Or I should say, you can't justify the value with what a resale does of a 30-year-old house versus a brand new house built in 2018. Our mortgage insurance terms are low and lenient. So the same MI companies that insure us, insure the big banks. Mortgage insurance is best equated to car insurance. The longer you go without, say, a ticket or an accident, what happens with your car payment? It inches down. Well, we never have claims with MI companies. They reward our members No, we don't own one mortgage. We would foreclose on one house. We have no real estate owned portfolio because members of credit unions are more loyal than borrowers and banks. So they reward the member because we don't profit with mortgage insurance. We're just protected from the event of default. We also drop mortgage insurance in as little as 1 year with a new appraisal, not 11 years, like the real paperwork. As little as 1 year and an appraisal or principal reduction will make it go away. I always attend my purchase and construction closings. We are exempt from intangible taxes. So that's a little bit of money when you're buying a car or an RV or boat or whatever, but it's a lot of money when you're buying $1 million. No intangible tax, you see zero when you're selling it. This is a big one. There's a lot of people that you interact with that have scratchy credit, maybe because of a divorce, a short sale, foreclosure, or a bankruptcy. We don't subscribe to your typical seasoning requirements. We will let someone close with a recent short sale, foreclosure, or bankruptcy. I need a good explanation. Show me that the events, they've sort of rounded the corner, and things are now better.
So the explanation is everybody else is doing it, so why not? For a short sale, like everybody else is doing. Yeah, my neighbor did it, so what the heck?
Oh, that's
not a good, yeah. Trust me.
And then when you think about it, you're making an application for a mortgage. Well, if you had a bankruptcy that included a mortgage, there better be a good reason. And I can give you a perfect example. I had one in the Champions Club last year, 90-day seasoning since the foreclosure, and we lent this lady $700,000. What were the circumstances? Well, she kind of inherited this house, this rental house from the divorce. After 3 tenants trashed the house, took out all the appliances, pulled out the copper, that kind of thing. She said, "That's it, son, trust, here's the keys to your house, I'm done." She put down 30%, which is not only our requirement, but she wanted, because she didn't want such a big mortgage payment, and she's living in her house in Champions. I'll do vacant lots. Let's get one. I'll do on a case-by-case basis, a non-warrantable condo. We're not a fan of the smaller denominations. Why? Because we don't want to waste the members' money. We find that non-warrantable condos tend to be the lower price ones, that have horrible management, a ton of rentals, okay, a lot of litigation. So non-warrantable condos on a case-by-case basis. I can tell you more if you want to grab my card and give me examples. I'll do vacant lot financing with a 20% down. Sometimes vacant lot financing is a house that's in a dilapidated state, right? So we'll let you close on it and extra money at the title company for what it would cost to demolish that house. So we'll need to get insurance until the house is gone. And then we'll remove the requirement for insurance once we have a vacant lot. So just maybe remember 20% down for the vacant lot. Someone can come in later and build a house. We have no balloon on our lot. They can keep the loan for 15 years and own the lot for anything. Just don't go park a mobile home. For us, jumbo loans start at 500, not 450. Isn't that cool? So when you think about it, in this market, 500 is kind of becoming more of a typical size house, right? And we don't feel that Fannie Mae has it right at 450. We lend our own money only. Obviously, I do construction loans. This one, I was just talking with Diane about this. We have, as long as we have to go to Fannie Mae, we will do what's called non-traditional income verification. You'll know your typical borrower that has, let's say, a lot of money in the bank. They're also savvy with their CPA. So right now, they're preparing their tax returns to take a bunch of deductions. And maybe when the CPA is done with their returns, they only claim $60,000 on income. We can show that in their Morgan Stanley or Raymond James account, they have $2 or $3 million left in the bank after closing. We'll pretend that money's going to make just 1 or 2%. And right now, who knows what the stock market's going to do. But 1 or 2% average, now percent means year. Take that annual figure, divide it by 12, that's monthly income that we add to the income that's already verified. We call that annuity calculation. That will save a deal amount for annuity calculation. Where I have a high debt ratio, but money that's left in the bank, it's going to appreciate, and that they will be able to claim income. Something that's really cool, and it's something that I don't take for granted, because we're a credit union. If I have an issue with debt ratio, I had this yesterday on pre-approval, I had a high payment proportionate to the balance on the latest car loan. I can, with a phone call or an email, I can have the branch level refinance that car, get me a lower payment immediately, and now I have a debt ratio that works, and I can issue a pre-approval. When we own a mortgage, this is one of the coolest things. When we own a mortgage, we can make our own rules. That's portfolio. One of the rules are, just like every lender in the country, no prepayment penalty. But another thing we have is, let's say they want to make a significant principal reduction, like they finally sold this other house that they own on the other coast, or they inherit money, or they get a bonus at work. Not only will we take a principal reduction, we'll recast the loan as if they never borrowed the full amount without restarting the amortization clock.
So recast the loan, but I'm already 2.5 years into it, so the new AMP is not 27.5 as opposed to, I still only have 27.5 left as opposed to 30.
Correct. And see, no matter how attractive the new interest rate is on the proposed refi, The parts that are ugly is I have to pay closing costs all over again, and I've been paying on this mortgage for 15 years. Why do I have to restart the clock, right? So the beauty of this is we give them credit for the months they've already paid. There's no closing cost to pay. And we basically will show them a new payment. They have to come into a branch, sign a new set of, obligated payments. Maybe the payment went from $3,000 a month to $1,800. It lifts a load on it. So those are the bullets, and perhaps the reason why you might want to keep my card.
That's strong. That's real strong.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Housekeeping things to make your life easier. One, the bathrooms are over here. This is Fort Knox. Okay, the reason you see so much, and I'm going to show you this in a second. The reason you see so much security, we don't care so much about the money leaving. Yeah, don't steal it. Security guy will probably shoot you.
Yeah.
We care about identity protection. Right? There's obviously a server in this building that has everybody's information. Right? So this is why the walk-through metal storage need a badge, and you guys are being videotaped. So the bathrooms are not in the bathroom.
I have cameras everywhere. Each
So the bathrooms are through this door, and guess what? You need one of these. So I'm gonna, after I, do my intro here, then I'm gonna see if I can get another one of these, or maybe I'll leave it with Joanne, and you guys can, use
You gotta
it.
get the hall pass. It's gonna be a big wooden stick attached to the end of it, so you make sure you bring it back, right?
If anybody wants coffee, are there gonna be bricks?
Yeah, no. But you,
If you haven't used this kind of coffee machine before, maybe you wanna get me or Joanne, because you're gonna look kind of silly trying to make this thing work.
we got coffee. Joanne brought coffee. Yes.
Okay, all right, there you go. And the entire campus is non-smoking, so please not, obviously not in the building or anywhere on the property.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so portfolio lending, that's big news right there. I mean, Danny Stanley, Freddie's Freddie, portfolio is portfolio, if you know what I'm talking about. They can make their own rules and do whatever they want to do. All right, thanks, Jim, for reminding me. So, here's the thing, it is 9, got a clock right there, 9:23. We had scheduled to start at 9. One thing, we'll talk about why I encourage my Wesley Chapel crew, to drive down here through the traffic, even though we have a lot of agents right up there, all right? And we'll talk about why we're going to do these things, because I'm a huge fan of the group dynamic in this setting, all right? Our other classes, you want me to teach your contract to you? Great, I can do it sitting in my office with a, screen sharing software, and we'll get it done, and boom, we're done, right? You can sit there in your fuzzy bunny slippers and do that. Here, there's a difference in, here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on a couple things here, but one is what to do is not the problem. I can go around the room and all of you know what to do in real estate, okay? You do. The what to do is not the problem. The issue with most people and agents and salespeople in general is to do, right? Not what, but how do I get past the what into the to do? Right? And what that's going to take is accountability, people. And if you think you're going to make it without that, you're lying to yourself. And I can save you an hour and a half right now and just go ahead and leave now. By the way, I'll probably say some things that are going to offend you because this is the 100K group, right? And we're not going to candy coat and pat you on the hand and say, hey, it's all right, that's okay, you tried. Tried schmied. All right, you said you were going to be here, and you said you were going to do this, and 2 weeks ago you said, here's what I'm committing to, and now it's 2 weeks later, and it didn't say anywhere on our commitment that you were going to do it only if your kids didn't get strep throat. I get it, because life happens, right? Stuff like that occurs, and you're going to have to understand that if you want to be massively successful, you're going to potentially have to do some things differently and commit to some types of things that you may not have thought you were going to commit to. All right, so let me get off the motivational quotes, because forget that. That's not going to make us any money. That's just here to kind of bide time. So, there we go. Let me get onto the right one here, and we'll get going. While we're going around, okay, you know what? Name, company you're with, how long in the business. Literally, you got 8 seconds, each of you. All right? Karen.
Karen Perkins, Future Home Realty, 12 years.
Awesome.
Jessica Fast, Future Home Realty, about 3 years.
Awesome.
Marielix Quiñones, Outfast Realty and Investment, 1 year.
1 year, perfect.
Sammy Gustafson, Future Home Realty, 1 year.
Jeff?
Jeff Saftich, Future Home Realty, 3 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Janine Metz, Future Home Realty, 19 years.
Nice.
Howard Metz, Future Home Realty, 9 years. James Schneider, Future Home Realty, 1 year.
Allison Dillon, Future Home Realty, 4 months. Margot Bartlett, Future Home Realty, 3.5 months.
Oh, you're way older than 3 months, 3.5 months.
4 months.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, guys, that's awesome. Love it.
I'm 1 year at Charles Wittenberg.
Awesome.
Christopher Stoiber, Keller Williams, 6 months.
6 months, that a boy, good deal. Coming up on that birthday soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Rick Mastercars, Future Home Realty, 14 months.
Teresa Manis, Future Home Realty, 3 months.
Got a lot of 3 months. I love this. Go ahead.
Melissa Hinchliff, Future Home Realty, 10 years.
10 years. Not all with us, though, right?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
October.
All right, perfect.
Cynthia Whiteman, Future Home Realty, 5 years.
Awesome.
Jessica Tizamina, Future Home Realty, 3 years.
Nice.
Rob Snedden, Keller Williams, 14 years.
Hey, Rob.
Chris Niveski, Keller Williams, about 3 years.
Awesome.
Gary Glass, Future Home Realty, 4 months.
Adrian Brown, Charles Rustenberg, about 1 week.
Awesome. Very good. Nice. Good deal.
Michael Lisdell, Future Home Realty, 4 years.
Erica Valley, Sable Palm International, 6 months.
6 months. Nice.
Maricela Velasquez, Future Home Realty, about 6 months.
Awesome.
Susan Edwards, Future Home Realty, 6 months.
Beautiful. Did we miss anybody? You guys over there? You guys are just...
I'm Michelle Krzyzewski, I'm with List to Close Management.
Oh, awesome. Good deal. All right. So, transaction coordinator. Awesome. Nice. You said Michelle?
Yes.
All right. Nice to meet you, Michelle. Good deal. All right. Cool. All right. So, we got a lot of new agents in the room. That's awesome. Okay. One of my first goals to do is, you know how we keep new agents excited about real estate? Keep them away from the old agents. Exactly, right? Okay, because pretty soon they all start wanting, this business, and buyers are liars, and then, all these things you hear, right? And so I'm glad we have so many new agents coming to try and catch you early, because it's way easier for me to teach new habits than it is to break the old first, so then I can teach you new, right? So if you don't have any bad habits, that's a great thing. If you have bad habits that came from the other industry, forget them, and we'll just keep moving on, all right? So, how many of you guys have been to 100K before? Anybody? Okay, a couple, all right, Sarah's in the back. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Yeah. All right, didn't like my red that I didn't wear. All right, forgot all about that. All right. But, Kelvin, they ought to have their red day on Valentine's Day. Shouldn't they? All right, do all their little customer, whatever their workout in the end for nonprofits and stuff. Do that. So, happy anniversary. Those of you who've been at 100K, guess what? Nothing's changed. All right? Because here's the deal. I think I said it in the email, if you may have seen that, or however you got introduced to this concept. Success principles are success principles, period. All right? Take me back in a Wayback Machine. Anybody give me somebody as old as no one. Jeez. All right. Mr. Peabody, you remember that cartoon? Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much. And he would go back in the Wayback Machine, and they'd go back in history. He and Sherman, his owner Sherman, right? So take me back in the Wayback Machine to 228 BC, and you guys are a group of chariot salesmen. All right, because that's what they sold in 228 BC was chariots, right? So you're a bunch of chariot salesmen. Guess what? If I had a PowerPoint back then, I probably would have had to chisel it into whatever, tick, 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 get it? Same stuff, right? Because success principles are success principles because they are called principles for a reason. They're not, now, methods, techniques, all that kind of stuff changes, right? But the principle, the underlying principle, the root of everything that we do hasn't changed. So you might be a little bit amazed if you haven't been to this before that we're going to teach things a little bit differently. We're going to attack this in a different method. I'm a firm believer it's a holistic approach. All right. Now, when I say holistic, some people think, oh no, we're doing acupuncture. Okay, that's not what I mean. Okay, I mean you can do acupuncture if you want. I've had acupuncture in the past one time. Okay, it's kind of interesting. So they broke out those needles. I passed out. All right, and next thing you know, I woke up and there were needles in my back or something. But not saying when I say holistic, we're going to focus on what we call our 5 LYs. And it's one of the last slides we do it, right? But we're going to learn to help you develop. All right, we're going to develop ourselves spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, physically, and finally, financially. All right? And I'm a firm believer they're in that order because the first 4 have to happen for the 5th to be a result. all right? The financial benefits is a byproduct of the other 4. So as we develop ourselves and get better at who we are, because remember, our whole goal is we want to stop chasing and start attracting business, right? And if I'm going to attract business, I have to be attractive. And I need to be attractive in those 4 areas: spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, what's the other? It's in there. Physically, thank you, yeah, okay. Physically, and then the financial benefits come as a result of that. So we're going to learn to work on ourselves, because if we work on ourselves enough, then people are attracted to us. Fair enough? All right? And it's a lot better. Who wants to chase business? All right? Achieve, I don't know if they have one. If you go on a campus, like some of these places where they have these call centers, right? Usually they have 2 sides of the room, right? There's one for outbound calls and one for inbound calls, right? Given our choice, if the pay is the same, I'll take the inbound call side, thank you very much, right? It's a lot easier to have people calling you and say, hey, I want to do business, right? Rather than, hey, you want to do business, hey, you want to do business, hey, you want to... And no offense to my KW people in the room, all right? But this is probably the most anti-bold thing you're going to see, all right? Because bold, and I get it, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Bold is just different, all right? Trust me, if you don't know any chiropractors, all right? If you know any chiropractors, they will tell you when bold's in session, right? Because Thursday of this week we're calling chiropractors today, and bam, here everybody's calling. They're like, the dude's like, holy smokes, the 5th flying. Everybody looking to buy or sell real estate. Anybody looking to buy or sell real estate? Looking to buy or sell real estate, right? And I'll get it. It worked for people, right? Jeff Bornham, okay, the hero of KW of Palm Harbor, it works for, right? Smile and dial, bang, and hey, here we go. Come on. I get it, right? But most people aren't set up to do that. When I say set up, that means emotionally and prepared to do that, right? They don't get up every morning out of bed and say, I can't wait to cold call, right? It's just not going to happen. Most people, now there are some that do, don't get me wrong, and it works, calling expireds and for sale by owners and chiropractors, right? You make enough phone calls, it will work, right? But all things even, all right, if I could get up and just say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to go do the next right thing, and when I do enough next right things, good stuff comes to me, it all reciprocates, and next thing you know, I got business coming in from I didn't know where, right? That's a better way to live for me. If it resonates with my personality a lot better, okay? And so what we're going to help you do is find what resonates with you, and if it is cold calling, God bless you, all right, go for it. I'm not here to dissuade you from that, as long as you're going to do it. But we are going to hold you accountable. If that's what you decide to do and that's our method we're going to attack, that's great, but we're going to implement whatever that is. Fair enough? Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to start with this premise. I'm a firm believer that proper mindset is critical. We got to start there, because without it, you're going to lose. All right? If you go in with a defeatist attitude, it's over. All right? So we've got to go in with a winning attitude. All right? This business is simple. This business is what's that? Yeah, you cheated. Okay? This business is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. We are not going to overcomplicate this thing. If you're looking for the greatest script in the world, all right, it's not here. All right? And if you're looking for some technique, or here's the list, or here's the secret to get the right Zillow zip code that nobody else can get, all right, I'm not going to deliver that to you, all right? But I am going to tell you that this business is simple. We overcomplicate this. I've seen it in my 25 plus years in the business. All right, now I know, again, it's hard to believe, isn't it? 25 years? The body of a 20-year-old, yet he's been in the business 25 years. Come on, all right? How in the world does that work, all right? Been in the business a long time. In my 25 years in the business, I have seen people succeed and seen people fail, right? And the biggest thing I can see as a differentiator is those that do, and those that don't. It's as simple as that. What to do is not the problem, to do is the problem, right? So we're going to figure out what is simple for you and help you do that simple thing. Okay, a couple things we need to do. Raise your right hand. Okay. I fully understand that I am CEO of Me Inc. Everybody understands that you are self-employed, right? Okay, us Inc., right? Okay, perfect. All right. Everybody in this room is self-employed. Got it? You want to raise? You go look in the mirror. It's not somebody else's fault, right? It's not Trump's fault. It's not the industry's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not the lender's fault. It's not the title company's fault. All right? It's not. If it is to be, it's up to me, right? Now here's the thing. How many of you guys have been around 100K long enough when we attack this book with some vigor? How many have read that? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. All right? Guess what? So did I thought. Okay, it was on my shelf, right? So I thought I'd read it. Okay? Then, okay, seriously, and then because it's been around forever, right? Okay. So about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I actually found it again and started to read it again. And I got good news and bad news for you. Good news for me is that I'm revisiting it again on my Audible. I was listening to it a lot this week, all right? The bad news is for you is that I've been reading this, all right? Okay? And this book, I'm just here to tell you, okay, we're going to read a little bit in these sessions. And if you don't like to read, that's okay, listen, all right? But you're still going to get the information. But I'm just telling you, the principles in this book are, and Covey will admit it, all right, that they are not unique. They are lifelong. They were around back when the chariot salesmen were selling chariots, okay? And that's the beauty of principle-based stuff, right? And we're going to cover some of this stuff throughout the sessions in different means and different ways. But if you want to challenge yourself to either read or reread this, all right? But read it with a purpose. Don't just read it to say I knocked it out. Read it to fully understand and internalize, and it'll blow you away. But one of the things Covey says, all right, in here early on, is that until a person can honestly talk to themselves in the mirror and look at themselves in the eye and say, I am where I am today because of choices I've made, no one can really personally grow. It's true, right? Until we come to the realization that I am responsible for my being, not anybody else, right? It's not the government's fault, it's not my parents' fault, it's not my grandparents' fault, it's not my DNA, it's not the weather, it's not, okay, I choose, right? And he'll cover in this that unlike animals have, he covers the concept of stimulus and response, right? You know, you get in the psychology class, right? Remember Pavlov's, you remember that? Yeah. Okay, ring the bell, dog salivates because that's when he was getting fed, right? Okay, so animals are like that. They're stimulus, and then they respond. My dog, Trixie, all right? I got it, I'm not a genius, all right? But I do this, sit, all right? With that hand signal, she sits, right? She has no choice, right? It's just, she sees stimulus, she responds, okay? Animals, unfortunately, are different than, or fortunately, are different than humans. Humans have the ability, what Covey calls the gap. It's the ability to choose, right? We get stimulus, and even if it's a small little microcosm of a second, there's a window to say, hey, am I going to respond or how am I going to respond, right? So that gap between stimulus and response is that ability to choose. That's what differentiates humans from animals, right? Now, trust me, I wish, as a broker of 1,300 agents, I wish I could say, sell. Right? Okay? Right? And to my agents, and they go, and they go out, next thing you know, a contract pops up, all right? But it doesn't happen that way. So I know I'm dealing with humans, and so when I'm dealing with humans, we got to find a way that we can help humans succeed, all right? So, this is simple, I got this. Here's the other thing. We raised our hands, and we're CEO of my Inc. Okay, one more time, I'm going to make you raise your hand. Raise your right hand. Okay? My success in real estate has absolutely nothing to do with which CRM I choose. Everybody agree with that? Please. If I see another flippin' post that I'm not going to go sit in an open house until I know which CRM I'm going to use, all right, I want to shoot myself, all right? I went from teaching high school math to selling 100 homes a year in about a 2.5 year period with growth every step along the way, and my CRM was a spiral flipping notebook, all right? And I did it back in the day when there wasn't automated emails going out to my clients and all this other kind of, trust me, I walked uphill to school both ways in the snow, barefoot, right? I'm that guy. I'm your grandparents that told you, back in the day, you guys have no idea. All right. That's true, man. If you knew what I had to do to just get a list of a potential buyer of new and updated properties, all right? Catch this, all right? So I would go, I'd meet somebody at an open house, I'd write them down on my CRM, okay, AKA spiral notebook. I go back to the office, put in their parameters. They're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, north of Gulf to Bay, south of Alderman, west of US 19, right? So I go in there and put all that data in to the MLS system, right? And couldn't hit save, right, to save that search. So I just had to enter it manually, got it in there. And then I couldn't hit email in 1994, email? Well, email. Email was just coming on board and the MLS hadn't caught up yet, all right? There was no emailing a list to somebody. So guess what I got to hit? Print. And guess what happened? How many guys remember those pin-fed printers, right? Okay? It would just print that. Yeah, and every listing was not on the correct side of the perforation, right? So half the listing was on the top of the perforation, the other half was on the bottom of the perforation, so I have to go and manually cut each one to separate them. And then what I had to do is go through and search, because if I was going to update a search for them in 3 days, hey, what's new on the market, Bob? Right? Well, it's simple enough now, right? We just, it automatically sends them out. For me, I went through and I went manually put them in order, all right? And then I found, and next in my CRM, had a little column, all right? Which was the first version of an Excel spreadsheet, by the way, all right? Just happened to be in a spiral notebook. And I had a column that said latest MLS ID. So I'd look for the oldest or the largest MLS number, 7965842, all right? And say, that's it. So next time I had to go and they say, hey, what's new on the market? I'd go back, put in their parameters again, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, da-da-da. Look, couldn't sort, right? Had to print the whole thing, throw away all the other ones, and I found the 3 that were older than the last MLS number I had, right? And I'd go hand deliver. Now that's the bad news, right? That I had to go do that. Compared to teaching math, I was willing to do it, right? I got to the point where I was making $250,000 a year, and guess what? Teaching math, I didn't make that, right? You showed me that I could do it. So I have no sympathy for you now, all right, just so you know, number one. Number two, but here's the thing. We're going to talk a lot about eyeball to eyeball, right? I think technology's awesome, right? But technology can kill us a little bit. Do you know how many deals I got because I wouldn't hand deliver these 3 new listings on this can't sheet, right? To them at their work. And there's someone said, oh, great. Oh, that one looks good. That one looks good. We're talking real quickly at their cubicle because they've got their 10-minute break and they've got to get back to work, right? So boom, okay, no problem. All of a sudden, somebody peeks over the cubicle, right? They say, hey, what's going on? I said, oh, Susan's buying a home. Really? And in corporate America, right? They're over there at their cubicle and they say, wait, Susan's in a 10 by 10 cubicle. I'm in a 10 by 10 cubicle. In corporate America, that means we make the same amount of money. Because if she made more, she'd be in a 12 by 12 and I'd be in a 10 by 10, right? Okay, right? And so they know, hey, look, we've got about the same salary here, right? So she's buying. Why? I wonder, hey, what do you mean? Oh yeah, I found down payment assistance. I got all sorts of things going for her. That's great. Hey, do you think, because I was eyeball to eyeball with people, I was getting business by hand delivering this stuff, right? We need to, even though technology allows us to do a lot of really cool stuff, we're going to look for ways to get eyeball to eyeball. We have a lot of hashtags that we're going to cover in these sessions, but one is this one. This is a lengthy one, so just be prepared for it. Okay? Eyeball to eyeball beats pixel to eyeball every day of the week. Okay? And what do I mean by that? When I can get in front of you, face to face, shake a hand and say, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna win every time that somebody paid to be in front of them on their computer. I will. I'll kill you. All right, if your business model is, I'm going to go buy Facebook ads or whatever you're going to do, all right, I'm out sitting open houses and they get a chance to meet me, all right, I'm going to beat you every time. But likewise, you could beat them every time if you did the same, because I'm a firm believer that eyeball to eyeball beats pixel to eyeball every day of the week. Cool? All right, we're on bullet point 1 and we got to go, all right, because we got a lot more to go. All right, this is simple, not easy, all right, but I want you to realize, okay, when I say this is simple, your answer is, I got this, all right? Got it? Go. This is simple. Okay, we're not going to overcomplicate it. Okay, business principles, success principles are just there. All right, and we're just going to agree to subscribe to them. Cool? All right, here we go. Understand the power of the mind. Okay, it will kill you, make you, or break you. Period. All right, you got to get control of it, because if you don't have control of it, it has control over you, and you're going to lose. All right. Most of the time, we tend to the negative. All right, go on to any Facebook page right now. All right. The people shouting positives about people from the rooftops gets diminished by those down in the valley, miring with all those, okay? So we're going to learn to do that. We're going to learn to replace fear and failure habits. I don't know where each of you come from. I've got, 30 people in the room here. I've got some people that grew up in a really positive atmosphere. Got others that grew up in a really negative atmosphere and all points in between. I don't know. All I know is that Cubby tells me no matter where you grew up, all right, that you have a power to choose, no matter what. Okay? You're talking to a guy whose dad, you guys have heard this before, that have been here around. My dad had a plaque on his desk that said, if everything seems to be going right, you've obviously overlooked something. Probably not the most proactive way to live, right? The other things I heard were that McDougal's are broke and McDougal's always rent. Seriously, I remember vividly. I remember as a 4-year-old watching the man come up and collect rent, right? And I remember looking at that transaction and saying, okay, what's going on? I remember questioning, oh, we pay him, it's his house, and we pay here to live in. I said, what? That's wrong, right? Why don't we, And from early on, I remember wanting to be on the other side of that transaction, right? I wanted to be on the other side of that transaction. We're going to talk about how we can overcome those kind of things, right? And get to the point where, now, I was so passionate about that when we had our son Joseph. We have 2 boys, just so you know. I already told you about Trixie. Trixie's our dog. Jeanette is my spouse. So the last time she'll be called my spouse or my wife, because Jeanette is defined by higher things in life than being my wife. All right, just ask her, right? So I'm not allowed to call her my wife. All right, Jeanette is who I'm married to. All right, we have Joseph, who's a biological son, who's now 15, and I've got Samuel, who's 11 years old, who we adopted from Russia back when he was almost 3. So now he's been with us about 8 years. All right, so when Joseph was, and Trixie, I already told you about Trixie, right? Trixie's the dog. All right, Blue Merle Collie, beautiful, great dog, and she sits when I tell her to sit. That's all I got though. Everything else, the shake and the lay down, no. She's gone, all right? I think she does have a little power to choose in there somewhere, because I've got to try to do that. Anyway, so when Joseph was born, though, I was so passionate about the way I was raised, and McDougal's are broke, all right, that I started pouring into Joseph. Man, Joseph, McDougal's are the best. He was 3 months old, all right, riding in the back with me. McDougal's are the best. McDougal's are the best. McDougal's are the best. Right? So 18 months, he's getting verbal, right? He's learning to speak, all right? And hey, little guy, what's your name? Joseph. Do you know your last name? Mm-hmm. What is it? McDougal's are the best. All right? Isn't that awesome? Right? But what a way to go through life compared to, hey, if everything seems to be going right, you've obviously overlooked something, right? So I was trying to pour that into him, right? Now it's kind of got overboard. He's like, Dad, we're staying in this hotel? It's like, he's kind of, it's like, he walks in. There aren't robes and slippers in here. What's going on? All right? Okay. Where's the doorbell while I ring the concierge? Come on, Dad. What are you going to place? I said, dude, we're in Paducah, Kentucky. I got the best we have. I'm sorry, brother. All right. So we're going to learn to replace the fear and failure habits. Stop listening to the old you. All right. We're going to replace those things. I'm telling you, because remember, the whole how-to, all right, or what to do is way down the road here. All right. We just got to work on us first. By the way, keep coming back to this. The first 3 habits in the 7 habits are working on me. All right. I'm trying to move from dependence to independence. Right. That's what habits 1 through 3 do. And habits 4, 5, and 6 take you from independence to interdependence. That's me relating to you. That's higher level. Maslow's hierarchy of actualization, self-actualization, right? When I can interact with other people interdependently, that's 4, 5, and 6. And 7 is what he calls sharpening the saw, which means it ain't going to stay done unless you go back and revisit it on a consistent basis, all right? You can saw all you want, but man, you know what? You're going to be a lot better off if you spend your time, rather than sitting 8 hours trying to saw with a dull-bladed saw. All right, spend an hour sharpening the saw, and now you get the thing cut down in another hour, so you're 6 hours ahead of yourself. A lot of times we get so wrapped up in the things that we forget to sharpen the saw. All right, powerful stuff. I'm telling you, Covey had it down. By the way, Stephen Covey's no longer with us. Great guy, died I think at age 82 or 83, mountain biking in Utah. Love that, right? How are you going to go out? Yeah. All right? How about go out at 83 mountain biking? All right? That's what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. So we're going to learn to do that. We're going to pre-play what it's going to look and feel like to achieve our goal. I'm a big believer we visualize, right? We're going to imagine what it's going to look like to do that. All right? We've got to be honest about where we are and what it's going to take to get us where we want to be. Stop lying to yourself. All right? Remember, we're not going to go easy on you here. And here's the salespeople are great at setting goals, right? We love to set goals. We have the end in mind, right? And that's, by the way, one of the habits. Start with the end in mind. It's habit number 2. All right, so that's a good thing. But a lot of us aren't honest about where we're starting. So if I'm going to try and draw you, I go to Google Maps right now and say I want to get to the airport, right? Remember when you put the destination, that's one part. The other part, it says choose your location or choose your starting spot, right? You can say current location, right? Unless you're like me, you turn that off because you think Big Brother's watching everywhere I go, right? So I'm not going to allow that tracking device on me, even though they have it. By the way, if you ever lose your stuff on your phone, just call the government. They'll get it back for you. All right? Okay. The government. Yeah, they just kind of, yeah, right, exactly. So, but if I was not honest, if I said, hey, I want to get to the Tampa airport, and I told them, I said, you know what, I'm going to cheat the system. I'm going to tell them I'm in St. Pete, right? You can tell them that's where you want to start, but the reality is, are you going to get an accurate map to the airport from here? No, right? A lot of us are good for the destination, but we forget to put in accurate information about where we're starting. And with 30 people in the room, we're all starting different spots, right? Some of us are higher level achievers, all right? We're already where we need to be. We're better, we're further along the continuum of being attractive, right? Others have some work to do, if you know what I'm talking about, right? So with that in mind, oh, by the way, taking great notes, that's awesome. On Friday, I'm teaching this, taught it last night, teaching it today. Tomorrow I'm in Orlando, and Friday I'm in Jacksonville. Once I'm done in Jacksonville, those of you on the 100K group page, if you're not, we'll talk about that at the end, how to get on that. We'll post the slides there too, so if you want to see the slides, all right? And there are a lot of slides, but that's why I got to get going. Okay. Got to be honest about where we are. So anyway, so you got to, okay, you know what? If I'm going to help you draw a map to where you want to go, whether it be 100 grand, 300 grand, 70 grand, whatever. We just chose the number because that was a number, right? Didn't matter to me, all right? But with, if I'm going to help you draw an accurate map, then we got to be honest about both current location and destination. Are you with me? All right, so we can't draw an accurate map unless we have both sets of data in there. Fair enough? All right, good. Okay. Ooh, how'd that happen? There we go. Here we go. Commit to being accountable for your actions, right? Without it, you are where you are today because of choices you've made. Everybody understands that, right? We live in the greatest, freest country in the world. We do. With all its blemishes, all its faults, all its everything else, all right? Opportunity is no better anywhere in the world than right here. You have the power to choose. We got people that have come here from England, right? Real estate better here than in England?
So we didn't say.
Love it. All right. Okay. Our MLS system's better here, isn't it? Compared to nothing, right? Exactly. See, there you go. All right. It's a good thing. So with that being said, all right, take advantage of it, right? Quit complaining. Tell me how bad you got it. Then go Google clean drinking water in Africa and tell me how bad you got it. Seriously, right? We get a little dose of reality sometimes. Sometimes we got to really check ourselves and remember, hey, you know what? As much as I like to complain about the fact that the appraisal didn't come in, all right?
America, yeah.
What's that? There you go. Absolutely, because we got somebody coming from Colombia.
No, Venezuela.
Venezuela, even worse. Well, seriously, I mean, right now, right? It's bad news there right now. All right, you're talking about, hey, I need to buy a loaf of bread. You like load up like whatever. What's the denomination?
If you want to eat, you search to the garbage, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got a wheelbarrow. It's like the Weimar Republic. Go do. By the way, if you aren't a history fan, you need to be. All right, because we need to learn from history. Okay, the Weimar Republic is what happened in Austria after World War I, which led to World War II. Right, and everything else, because it took a barrel full of money to buy a loaf of bread. All right, so that's what's happening right there. Okay, so with that, yeah, God bless America, and that's exactly, and she means that with all sincerity, I'm sure. All right, so here we go. All right, even with all its faults, I get it. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. But in about 228 years, all right, we've done some pretty amazing things. All right, and guess what? The world's happy we exist because we are givers. If you don't believe it, yeah, read the news, all right? That's right, they'll tell you what a bunch of jerks we are, all right? But the reality is we give, all right, a ton. All right, anyway, here's the ugly truth. We're going to go through this quick. About 1.2 million realtors in the world. By the way, if you're brand new, who's under a year in the business? Plug your ears right now. Here we go. All right? Okay? Because here's the ugly truth. Out of those 1.2, 240,000, about 20% of them had 0 closings last year. 0. Okay? Another 20% had basically 1 closing. They averaged about 4,600 GCI. Those of you newer in the business, GCI stands for gross commission income. Gross commission income, and that amount is really gross, but gross commission income is before your broker split, before taxes, before advertising, before your signs, before your lockbox, before you went to the board for the first time and you left $1,200 lighter, right? All that other kind. Before all of that, Okay, now you're getting down. Basically, you could spend $4,600 in your first year of real estate as an independent contractor in a hurry. All right, like I said, a third of it goes to the board the first time you step in their doors. Right? By the time you pay NARFAR, MLS, and DWBUBDA. Right? Okay, so there you go. So 20%, so that's 40% who made zero. All right, 240, another 20% average 16,000 GCI. Again, depending on what split you're on and everything else, but 16,000 GCI can get eaten up in a hurry. Well, I'll tell you this, 60%, so that's 60% of realtors out there, 60% of realtors could qualify for food stamps. Okay? Yeah, I told you, plug your ears. All right? It's ugly truth, all right? Another 20%, about 46,000 GCI, but 46,000 GCI, you know, nobody here I heard, but if you're a Century 21, they're taking 50% off the top, and then you work down from there after you pay all your stuff, all right? You're still looking at potentially qualifying for assistance, right? So now, 80% of people, by the way, these 60% from here up, all right, they're essentially nonprofits. You understand that? If they wanted to file the paperwork, they could be 501c3s. All right? You could, if they did, I could give them money and write it off on my taxes because I gave them to a nonprofit, right? Okay. Oh, you're a newer realtor. You only made $8,000 last year. Here's $10, and I can write that off, all right? Because they're a nonprofit, all right? That's how bad it is, right? So, but the top 20% average about $199,000. Now we know this, right? 80-20 principle, it's the Pareto principle, it's been around forever. Actually in real estate, it's probably closer to 90-10, where about 90% of the business is being done by about 10% of the workforce out there, okay? It just is what it is. The question is, which percentage do you want to be, right? Now again, you're going to learn, remember of our 5 LYs, where does financially come? At the end, right? Is this all about money? Absolutely not. Is money a consequence to proper actions? I say yes, right? And I've lived with it and without it, I choose with. All right, I've been on both sides, right? And so why not win? If you're going to do it, why not win? Are you with me? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Imagine this. Okay, now we're going to pre-play this for a second, right? Netting $100,000 a year in the business. Again, may not be enough to motivate you. You choose higher. Maybe mind-blowing for you. I can't even imagine a 6-figure income. Lower it. You don't want to overstep your mind right now. We're going to help your mind stretch and grow, but imagine 100 grand a year in the business, okay? And you choose your number. The reason we chose that number was 8 years ago, or 10 years ago now, when we first taught the 100K for the very first time. It was in 2008. It's when the market had already turned. All right, I had about 300 agents at the time, and at about any given moment, about 200 of them were on the Skyway Bridge ready to jump. All right? Life as they knew it was over. They didn't know what to do, and I said, all right, come here, this date, this place, this time, I'm going to show you how to make 100 grand a year in this market right now. All right? We had like 180 agents show up out of 300. I mean, we don't get those kind of percentages at our Christmas party. All right? People came out of the woodwork. Now, I lost about half of those 180 in the first 10 minutes because I told them we were going to work. I'm like, whoa, hey, whoa, what? Right? I said, yeah, we're going to go to work. And they, whoa. Did I misread the email? I thought it said we were becoming employees and you were going to hire us at 100 grand a year. All right? I said, no, yeah, you misread. Okay? But if you want to win, so I lost about half, and then of that half, about another half matriculated away. All right? But about 40 of them dug in and reinvented themselves and made it happen in that market. And one of the tougher markets we've been in. All right? Okay? But it was awesome. Okay, it was a lot of fun. That's what we did. So that's what we did. So net 100 grand in the commission, enjoying the real estate business. All right, if you're going to do this, why not enjoy it? I got some people that I run into, like, you know, they're walking around, oh, yeah, it seems like I can't get any business. I said, you think? You know? You weaned on pickle juice or what? Dude, I mean, how about stand on your head so it looks like a smile, right? Gee, many Christmas. You know, if you're going to be, if you're not a people person, it's probably the wrong business. Okay, you got two options. If you're not a people person, okay, either get out of this business or become an REO listing agent. All right? Because REO listing agents, self-admitted, do not like people. All right? Now, Connie, she's...
We like people.
Okay, very good. Okay, all right, gotcha.
Not all of them.
Okay, all right. Sarah will give us some... All right, okay. Most of them sit there and say, hey, you know what? I don't want to, I got 2 email addresses. I got one email address that Fannie Mae sends me my new listing, requests, and I've got another email address for the multiple offers that I'm going to get, all right? And I'm going to not even look at my phone because I don't return your calls, texts, or emails.
And then my assistant will do all the work.
Absolutely, all right? But God bless them. They got it and it works for them, and they don't have to. They don't have to be nice because They're related to somebody at Fannie Mae in Texas, and they've got a good listing agreement, and there they are, right? God bless them, all right? But other than that, if you're not one of those, all right, you're going to have to learn to like people, all right? Because this is a people business. And thank God it is, by the way. All right, I am not a firm believer that this is ever going away. Oh, when are robots going to automate and take us away? Robots can take my order at Burger King, all right? Robots can't deal with a low appraisal and a panicked person and a person that thinks because the lock set in the back of the house, the back door of the house doesn't match the lock set in the front of the house, that we need to walk away from this $280,000 deal, right? That takes somebody with some personal skills, interrelational skills to help walk you through that. You know what? How about this? You know what? I'll buy you a new lock set, all right? To do that. Joseph, my 15-year-old, right? By the way, if you're our agents, beware if you call me and you can tell them on the phone, there may be a chance that my sons are in the car, all right? Because I'm on Bluetooth, right? So, well, I'll hang up on a deal and Joseph will say, even when he was like 8, he'd say, hey, Dad, you think that agent should probably just buy the refrigerator? He said, how much were they going to make? Well, I said, they're standing to make about $8,000 on this deal. I said, and there's quibbling over $450 refrigerator? They'd rather them get back in the car and have to drive them around and go find another house and all this kind of stuff over $450. How about just go make the deal happen? I say, when can you get your license? Yeah. All right? Okay? And we're ready to go. All right, so we enjoy the real estate business. That means this. You know, there are clients that we enjoy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there are clients that we endure, right? How about, what if we got so busy that we get to choose only the people we like, that we enjoy? I'm going to teach you how to get so busy that you're going to pick and choose the people you do business with rather than, and you say, and that's a noble, oh, that's the way I am right now. But I see you, right? They're a jerk. They're telling you, they're calling you, they're texting you at 11:49 at night and everything else and expect a response, and they're threatening to leave and all this kind of stuff, all right? And you won't let them go because that's your mortgage payment yourself next month. I get it, right? But what if we got so on top of our situation that we got to pick and choose? Say, hey, you know what? Life's too short to deal with you. All right? Seriously. Now, here's the beauty. You know, shameless plug. $35 a month, $250 a transaction, a $4,000 cap. All right? Yeah, I said $4,000. All right? Dollar cap. Okay? Here's the beauty of that. From an agent perspective, it's a really good deal. From a broker's perspective, it's a really good deal. You know why? Sounds harsh. Okay? Get ready for this. Future home agents. All right? I love you, but this is the way I look at you. All right? The most you ever worth to me is $4,000 a year. It sounds harsh, right? But it's not a threat to anybody. It's a commitment to my committed people, but it's a threat to the jerks that somehow maybe make it through our vetting system and end up with us. Say, hey, look, dude, you're an a-hole. You're only bringing me $4,000 a year, and you're doing way more damage to my logo than you are the money you're bringing in, so have a great day, right? We just tell them, hit the bricks and have a nice day, and you're gone. Okay, because now again, I love to tell you I'm noble enough that even if they were paying me $40,000 a year, I'd still tell them to hit the bricks. But I'd be honest enough to tell you that I think about it 10 times longer, right? Okay, okay. I'd say, well, I know he's a jerk, but, you know, right? And so, but with $4,000, I'm not even tempted, right? I'm not even tempted to keep a negative attitude, cancerous prima donna. We're all supposed to bow when they, oh, they're here, right? Wait, get out of the way, roll it. Here's the way. Oh, he likes hazelnut coffee. Let's go, right? Forget that mess, all right? And if you're looking for that, then there are a lot of other real estate companies you can get that with. Cool? All right, good deal. So we're going to enjoy the real estate business. We're going to work with people we want to work with. We're going to control the transaction. We're just transaction controlling you. We're going to learn to teach you how to outsource the transaction management portion of that so that you can go out and do what you're supposed to do, is get new signatures on contracts, right? You know, again, do we have to get the termite report done and all that kind of stuff to get paid? Yes, all right? Is it a revenue generating activity for you to spend all day tracking down the termite guy? No, right? That's why there are transaction coordinators. Michelle is her name, right? Okay, all right, so make sure you get Michelle's information before you leave, because that is what you want to do. I'm going to teach you how to get rid of that stuff. How did I sell 100 homes a year when it was just me? By the way, it wasn't a team, all right? You're looking at Team McDougal, all right? It was me and my closing coordinator. You guys need to know Maureen at the office? Maureen was my closing transaction coordinator back in the day, all right? And so it was just me. I was just selling. Here's the nasty part of that. 90% of them, buyer controlled. What? I'm telling you. All right. Going to control your finances? How about this? What if we could get to the point our finances were so in control that we actually read a menu left to right? Think about that for a second. Okay? How many of you, I've been there, all right? You go in and we finally, you know what? Okay, we can afford to go out to dinner. What are you hungry for? That. Well, what is that? You don't even like Brussels sprouts. I don't care. All right? It's $4.99. All right? Okay? That's reading the menu right to left, right? But what if we could actually read the menu left to right? We got in such, you know what? Hey, I've got my things put together. I'm going to go out to dinner and enjoy myself. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. All right? Not because, hey, if it's $39.99, all right, surf and turf it all day long, brother, go for it, right? Okay, it's just, there's a difference. I'm going to help you get to that point. How about once in your life being true to your priorities? I'm just painting a picture here, guys. True to your priorities. If I interviewed anybody, all of you would all say the right thing. God, family, my civic duty, the going down, nonprofit work, vocation, right? Yet then I look at your calendar, and it's completely inverted. Family and God get the short end of the shrift, right? So what if we could actually state our priorities, be successful, and actually stay true to them? That's a pretty cool thing, right? It can happen, all right? I know you're looking to get some skepticism going out there, and I get it, all right? Because life will beat you up, all right? Because, you know, life happens. How about discovering your purpose in life, attacking each day with energy and vitality? Here's the deal. None of us were put on earth to sell real estate. I don't believe that. You're going to hear me talk a lot about God. I'm a religious guy, all right? I'm a spiritual guy. Let me put that, all right? Religious is a different story, all right? I'm a spiritual guy. I'm a firm believer that I am where I am today because choices I've made, but that is some of these laws that were inherently, these principles are God-given, in my opinion, okay? Now, again, you can agree or disagree with that. I'm not here to offend anybody. I'm not here to proselytize you either, all right? We're not having a service afterwards and we're all, having communion, all right? Not going to happen, all right? But that being said, here's the other thing too. I told you about if you get offended, you could leave, right? And I'll double refund the money it cost to get in. All right? Fair enough? That's the good news about zero, all right? Is that it was zero, right? The bad news is about zero. You waived you implicitly waived your right to be offended. All right? Because if you don't like what I'm saying, all right, I get it. All right? Sometimes truth hurts, but don't come back next time. And that'll happen. About half of you will lose. All right? Trust me. All right? I know the numbers. All right. Okay. So we're going to help discover what that is. I don't care if it's working with the homeless, working with orphan kids, teaching Sunday school, the Arbor Society, cleaning up the beaches, homeless pet animals, whatever it is, right? There's a purpose deeper in your life that you are put on earth to achieve. Now again, I'd love to be able to just go do that, but sometimes life happens and I need a roof over my head and all that kind of stuff. I think real estate's really cool because it affords you flexibility in how much money I want to make and flexibility in the time that I invest, right? And I can get better at investing that time and do it well and allow me time to do these other things. Okay, speaking of which, we're going to talk about how we can make a business out of our business, all right? There he is. I know my bullet points, I guess. So create a residual income from the real estate business. Imagine that. All right. Mortgage people probably aren't much better at it than we are, than real estate agents. You know who's good at it? Are insurance agencies. Those kind of people, you know what they do? They build a business out of their business, right? You hear Allstate people all the time. They build a book of business. You hear them selling their book, right? And they actually go and a new little Allstate University graduate comes out. And this guy's ready to retire, and he says, hey, look, you want to buy my business? You can buy it, and here you are, right? Why don't we? Because what is somebody, when that Allstate agent buys that book, what are they buying?
Goodwill.
Okay, goodwill, all right, and what creates the goodwill? Who said something else here?
Database.
Yeah, okay, database, and what does the database represent? Profit. Right? If I'm going to sell a business, if I'm going to sell anything, right? You're getting ready to write an offer on an investment property that's how many units? 8 units? 8 units. Okay, plus a house, right? How did you evaluate that property? Based upon the other 8 house or 8 unit apartment next door? No, you did it based upon a cap rate, based upon the cash flow that thing. You know what? Investors don't buy property, they buy cash flow. Period. People who are buying a business, they don't buy your business, they buy the cash flow that your business creates. Are you with me? So what if we could build our real estate business with that in mind, that if we could show them, hey, look, over the last 18 years, here's my average, and it's been growing, and I've been growing and average, and boom, and here's because of my database, boom, here it is. I've got loyal customers ready to go, boom, all right? That's a willable, sellable concept, all right? When I go to build my business, Future Home Realty, when I go to build that and I leave my family, right? My boys understand, Dad, you going on another trip? Yep, heading out. Ah, man, I know. That's what they tell me all the time. I know. I said, what do you know? Our kids and our kids' kids are going to be able to spend the money based upon the hours you're putting in today. They understand the concept of an annuity. They understand I'm building a business, not just going to a job. You see the difference, all right? Bonus book here, write this one down. Cash Flow Quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki. It's in the purple section of the Barnes & Noble. Kiyosaki's made himself purple, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Cash Flow Quadrant was book number 2. Incredible. It distinguishes the difference between an E, an S, and a B, and an I. All right? E is an employee, the least efficient way to make money. Okay? Employees only make the bare minimum that an employer will pay them to keep them from walking out the door. Period. Right? S, self-employed. That's us. Right? We think we're all that six-pack in a bag of chips because we're self-employed. All right? So did I when I read the book. Then I got hammered because Kiyosaki says this. You know, probably the worst offenders of this are real estate agents. It's like, gee, Christmas. Okay, hello, want to put my name in there. All right? Probably the worst offender of this is Bob McDougall, right? Okay? Because you think you're all that, and the operative word in self-employed is not self, but employed. That's harsh reality. Stop doing what you're doing for 6 months and tell me how your income looks. Right? That's an S. Don't give me it's better than an E, but it's still an S. All right? You want to live on the right side of the quadrant. That's the B and the I. B is a business owner, where you're in B, where your business is doing things absent of you being there, right? And an I is where you're an investor and your money's making money, all right? Right side of the quadrant. We'll talk about that later. So, cool? All right, but we're going to learn to help you create a residual. Yes? Cash Flow Quadrant. Yeah. So think of a quadrant. It has a picture like kind of a skewed thing, and ES, B, and I there. All right? Cool. This is simple? Yeah, you do. All right, here we go. All right, that all sounds great, Bob, but I don't believe you. Okay? All right? In a perfect world, I'd wake up this morning and there was a rainbow-colored unicorn pooping dollar bills out its backside. All right? But it didn't happen. All right? In a perfect world, that kind of stuff would happen. It'd have hearts on it, red hearts on it for Valentine's Day today. All right? That's what would happen. Okay? But it's not happening, right? So here's what we're going to do. This is simple. All right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to study those who've done it. I'm here to tell you there's nothing new. We're not going to reinvent anything. We're going to study and look at people that are successful doing what you want to do. Copy them. Right? Copy them. Why try and reinvent that? Right? We're going to copy them and do it better maybe. All right? But we're going to copy them. We're going to learn from each other. Because here's the thing. The reason we do these, and we do record them, all right, so don't get lazy and say, well, next time I know it'll be loaded up eventually. You are not going to get it. Here's the thing about a group dynamic. Who can tell me the last time they saw an AA meeting online? Not happening, right? What do they understand? They understand that it's the human interaction that's going to help you through a really tough situation in your life, right? I'll tell you another story. So, I live in Nashville, and a couple years ago, I was getting up on a Saturday morning to go to a men's Bible study, right? I started at 6, and I learned, who's been to a men's Bible study before? Anybody? Okay? Coffee there is terrible. So, men don't know how to make coffee, right? So on my way to the men's Bible study, I said, I'm going to swing by the coffee shop and grab my own coffee on the way, all right? So we can get through this. So I'm swinging by. It's about 5:40 in the morning. It's January in Nashville. I look at my little temperature thing on my car. It's 8. Okay? 8 degrees, right? Like, man, it's a little chilly, right? I need that coffee. So I'm driving along, and I enter this, it's a fairly large strip center, right, where this coffee shop I go, and all of a sudden I'm driving and it's empty, right? Of course, it's 5:40 in the morning on a Saturday. It's empty, except this one little patch has about 30 cars all around this one section. So I just drove by at 5:40, it's 8. I said, what, everybody, maybe it's the bar from the night before, right? That's my first thought, okay? It's there. But no, it's outside a running store, right? I'm like, what? And I see all these people out there kind of, sitting there just, it's 8. I roll down my window and say, it's 8, right? I said, what's going on? Is there a big sale going on? Is somebody selling shoes or something? And they're like, oh, no, we're getting ready to, in March, we're going to run the Music City Marathon, and we're all getting ready to go on a group run. We're doing one of our long runs today. I said, it's 8, right? And I'm not talking AM. It's 5:40 AM, but it's 8 degrees, And I'm like, good on you, brother. And I just, roll up my window and said, let me get out, right? But here's what I thought. As I drove away, I said, okay, it's 5:40 now. Probably about 25 minutes ago, I did ask him. I said, how many of you? I said, there'll be about 60 of us. I said, cool, all right. Not 61, I'm out. All right, gone, right? Okay, so I knew that about 25 minutes prior to that, probably 60 alarm clocks went off. And in today's technology, it's on our phone. And the cool thing about a phone is that, A, you can see the time, but also you can quickly see the temperature, right? And there was stimulus and a gap. There was a choice to be made before that response, right? And given, left to their own devices, if it was just up to me and I was going to go on a long run on my own, I'm like, you know what? YMCA has a treadmill. It's heated in there. I could at least, I'll get it later. Right? And then what happens is my son's soccer game, and next thing, 7 o'clock, maybe tomorrow, right? But when they had the group dynamic going, and they knew that other people were relying on them, and that they would notice if they're not there, something that's that little bit of stimulus maybe that needed an impetus to get us over the edge, right? And that's what I truly believe the group dynamic does. When you're in part of a group and you're committed to a group, good things happen. If the group is good, right? And so we've got to learn that, hey, you know what? We're part of it because everybody needs each other in this thing because we're going to learn from each other. Because quite frankly, I don't care if you've been in the business 3 months or 3.5 months or whoever's which. All right, okay. You've got some skill sets coming from totally different aspects, all right, that you could bring to the group, right, that we need to hear. And maybe sometimes our older agents need to be reminded of, boy, isn't that a fresh way to look at it? Excited about making $4,000, right? I mean, I need to check myself a little bit. So, and so we're all going to, and by the way, and this is most companies that I hear represented here, we deal with an abundance mentality around here. There's plenty for us all. Because quite frankly, the people who do business with Jeff are completely different than the people who do business with James, okay? It really is, all right? Here's the math teacher in me, the Venn diagram, those concentric circles that touch, all right? Where those overlap, okay, that is such a small sliver between Jeff's clients and James's clients, that's not even significant, right? Doesn't even matter. So Jeff now is free to share an idea with the group, not fearful that now he's going to lose business, all right, because James is now going to be able to do a business, you know what I mean? Okay? It's an ever-growing pie. And that's that we all get a bigger slice when we help the pie grow. Are you with me? All right? So that's the way we're going to attack it. Okay, submit to the law of harvest. I love this law. By the way, I thought I was real creative when I wrote this slide a couple years ago. All right, and I reread the book, and it's right in here. All right? It's like, that's where I got it. So I was thinking, okay, you know what? Okay. But you'll learn, Sarah understands this, right, Sarah, that I always, the third time I say something, it's my quote.
Right.
Right? Because like I've always said, that what you're about to eat will never taste as good as skinny feels. Chew on that one for a while. Slice of pizza that's about this long, and I'm thinking about Sarah telling me it'll never taste as good as skinny feels. And I head to the salad bar, and don't put dressing on it. All right, okay? But she's the one that taught me that quote, and by the third time I said it, you know what I've always said? All right? Okay. So the third time I say a quote, I own it, all right? So that's just the way it is. And, God, Covey can't come defend himself because he's in the grave. So, all right? So law of the harvest, all right? But here's the deal, law of the harvest, all right? Law of the harvest says what? If we plant seed or sow, we will reap, right? Has to. Now, here's the beauty. You can't cheat it. All right, so that's the bummer sometimes. We try and cram. Have you guys ever crammed for a test at the very end? I'm not going to do anything, all right, and tomorrow's the test. Here we go, let me cram, all right? Usually doesn't work out as well as if you had actually internalized and learned the stuff along the way, right? You can't cram the harvest. You can't say, I don't feel like planting in the spring. I don't feel like fertilizing in the summer. I don't feel like watering. But I really want the harvest at the end. Right? If you do, then you're the other animals in the story of the Little Red Hen. How many of you guys have little kids? Read the book Little Red Hen? Remember the little red hen? Who will help me plant the seed, asked the hen. Not I, barked the cow. Not I, meowed the cat. Right? You know that? All the other animals, they said, no way, no way, no way. I'm not at it. I got things to do. I got to go watch Law and Order. All right? I got things, I got other things happening in my life. I'm too busy, right? Okay, I got other things to do. Little red hen, she goes and plants. She waters. She fertilizes. She harvests the wheat. She grinds it into flour, and she bakes bread. Right? At the end of the book, out comes little, and all the other animals are like, what's that I smell? Is that bread? And who will help me eat the bread? Asked the hen. All right. I will, said the dog. I will. They're all in now, right? Okay. They didn't want to do the work, but they like to harvest. All right. They didn't want to sow and do all the other stuff, but they like to harvest. And little red hen says, "I got your bread right here." Right? That's my version. That's not what it says in the book, but all right. Well, I clean it up when I read it to my kids as well. But that's basically what the little red hen says, right? So, hey, no, bread is for those who work and da-da-da-da. By the way, it's a very biblical principle. I could read you about 15 Proverbs right now that says if you don't work, you don't eat. All right? Harsh, but it's true. All right? So the reality is that we have to agree. Now, that's the bad news about the harvest, that if you don't sow, you won't reap. But the good news about the harvest is if you follow the recipe, it happens. Right? If you do what it says, the law, you can't cheat the law of harvest and not have it work. Just like you can't cheat the law of harvest and have it work when you didn't do the work. Are you with me? So the good news is we're going to submit to the law of the harvest. We got to understand that if we are going to reap, we have to sow. All right? And that takes the work. And that's where I lost all those people that first time we taught 100K. They're all gone. All right? Because they all wanted the paycheck without the work. Quick word there's a difference in family and relatives. Okay? I told you my family is Jeanette, Joseph, Samuel, and Trixie. All right? My relatives are everybody else. All right? As soon as my bread started coming along, all right, I had cousins I didn't even know I had. All right? I have separated myself from those who are not going to bring value to my life. All right? And some of those are my relatives. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. That's not, they're not in that 4. All right? God bless you, sister, but how about have a garage sale? I ain't sending you money. Seriously, you know what I mean? And sometimes we have to do that because my responsibility as the leader of my family is to my family. That's it. It stops there. Okay? I'm just here to tell you. Boy, that's here to tell you. That's what it is. Okay? Now, again, some of you can go up, all right, and that's decisions to be made, but my parents are both now passed away, so I've alleviated that issue. All right? Don't have to worry about that. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, this is recorded. I didn't mean it that way. Okay? All right. I didn't mean I eliminated, Good point. Yeah, see, careful what you say. Right. There were no insurance policies and there was nothing. Trust me, they rented their whole life. Remember McDougal's Rent? Okay? All right, there was nothing to, gain anyway. It cost me money when they died. Trust me, I had to bury them. All right, so. Don't get offended. Jiminy Christmas. All right. Switch to the law of harvest and the little red hen. All right, we're going to learn from our mistakes. What does that mean? We are going to make mistakes. All right? Future home agents, I allow you to make mistakes. Because the only people who don't make mistakes are, I'll walk into the office and I'll see an agent. How's it going? Oh, great. Anything issues with your deals? None. None. I said, how many deals you got? None. All right? Right? Okay. And it's the truth, right? Now, if you're not with us, check with your broker if they allow you to make mistakes, all right? But I allow you, again, we're not going to be blatant. We're not going to go out there and, blatantly disregard the law or Chapter 475 or anything else. But if we're waiting for perfection, or I've got this all figured out before I go make my first deal, you're never going to get your first deal done. You're never going to figure it out, all right? One of my favorite proverbs, I quote Proverbs a lot, all right, is this. Where there are no oxen, the stable is clean. Okay? It's great. Solomon, when he wrote that, all right, back in Babylonian times, to have oxen, cattle, or livestock meant wealth, right? So he was saying, hey, look, you've got clean stables, that's great, but it probably means you have no oxen, right? There's nothing happening. So it's okay. Matter of fact, you'll see on our 100K group page, every once in a while, people that are been through this course before, they'll reach out and say, hey, Bob, I got a messy stable, all right? Can you help me with this problem, is what they're saying, okay? And that's okay. We allow to do it. Because here's the thing. Waiting for the perfect time is never going to get it. Because George Patton said this, okay, the World War II general. A good plan executed today is far better than a perfect plan never executed. Right? So many times I wait and I see, hey, when are you going to make those phone calls? Well, when are you going to sit that open house? Well, as soon as I'm in the office right now and I got to make sure my red pins are next to my blue pins and then the green pins, and then I am researching my CRM, all right, to see which one I'm going to. How about this? Go find people to put in your CRM and then you'll figure out your CRM. Right? You guys got the CRM figured out and you got nobody to put in it. All right? That's an issue. It's a huge issue, okay? So how about we just go, forget that. Then you look at your pins are all lined up and you look, oh, it's 5:02. I can't call, right? Another day wasted, another day gone. You're a day older. You're that much closer to the grave, right? Okay? That's it. Harsh reality. And you're probably that much closer to the grave because you should have been at least gone to the gym instead of sitting around lining up your pins. All right. Okay. We're going to grow personally. Remember we talked about if we're going to attract people, we got to be better at who we are. Right? So we're going to focus a lot on this growth. Matter of fact, like, where's the script, dude? I came for the script. There are no scripts. Yeah, because your script is your script. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to be a better you, and there's your script. All right, that's all you need. Okay, when you're a better you. We're going to feed off the synergy in the room. Rising tide raises all ships. All right, start to get excited, and all of a sudden we teach some things, and people attack it, and they're like, who's been in the business longer than 3 years? Okay, so the 3 years or older agents sit there and look, and some of these are 3 and 3.5 months agents come back 2 weeks from now. Hey, I was stupid enough to listen to Bob, and I just did it, and I've got 4 new buyers that I'm working with. All right, and our 3-year-old, or older agents are like, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, WTF? All right, what just happened? All right, how did that? Where did that go? All right. Okay, but they're like, well, man, if they can do it, they're only 3.5 months in, I can figure this out too, right? And next thing you know, a rising tide raises all ships. We get to feed off the synergy in the room. Stop making and accepting your own lame excuses. We're not going to listen to them, all right? So if you're planning on bringing them, stop at the door and don't check in next time. Okay, by the way, we're not going to be here next time. We'll talk about that, all right? Okay, this is a great room, by the way. Live in accountability, all right? We hate it. It's a necessary. Absolutely. I live in accountability right now. All right, every day of my life. I'm married to my accountability partner. Okay, that's a tough one, by the way. All right, it's not so fun. Guest bedroom gets old in a hurry. I'm outside, Wilma, right? Okay, banging on the door. Okay, it's this. Yeah, I saw the spreadsheet. I've looked at the balance in the account. Shoo along. All right. Say, Dad, gummit, man, shouldn't have given her access to the bank account. All right. Turn off the television. There's nothing good on there, right? You can find some stuff, all right? But on any given day, you just flip it on the channel, okay? All right, if you watch it with a purpose, all right, there's some things out there. There's some great stuff on YouTube. There's great stuff there's podcasts that are out there, all sorts of things. If you're going to spend your time doing it, but at least do it dual purpose, right? You're multitasking. Do it while you're working out. Do it while you're walking the dog. Do it while you're weeding the garden. Do it while you're doing all this other stuff, all right, while you're sowing seeds. But get fed, all right? But stop watching Narcos, okay? My 15-year-old's in, and he's like, Dad, it's the locker room. I was like, yeah, really? Okay, I'm 51, so 36 years. I guess you're right, but yeesh. I'm like walking by. That's the story of Pablo Escobar. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's on Netflix.
Doesn't anything good.
Okay, no, you kidding, man? That thing is, but I could beat him up and put him in a headlock, say you're not watching it, and then what's he doing when I leave? Watching it. All right. So, all right, 15-year-olds, we just let him get it out of his system and get it done. All right. So, but he also has read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. All right, as well. All right. So he's got to match it up. Live a disciplined life. There's freedom and structure, right, Sarah? Yes. There's freedom and discipline, Sarah says. All right. It's the same thing. That the more structured I am, the freer I become. Sounds oxymoronic, right? Right? Sounds like our weightlifter will attest to it, right? Okay.
Discipline equals freedom.
There you go. Absolutely. How could it not? And plus you get to look like that. Hourglass, right? Shoot. Adonis. What do we call him? What's your name again? All right, we'll call you Adonis. All right. Love it. Seriously, that's cool. I mean, there's some discipline there. All right. You tell me not? Look at him and tell me there's not been discipline in his life. There you go. Love it. That's what I'm talking about, all right? It's the truth, though, right? It's so there is freedom and structure. Again, they don't seem like they go together, but they do. It's kind of like words that shouldn't be like government intelligence, all right? Don't think words that shouldn't be used in the, next to each other. But freedom and structure is there. The more structured I am, the freer I become. When I say I'm going to do one thing and I lock out everything else, called time blocking, right? Remember that concept? We time block and say I'm going to knock this out, and you knock it out. Guess what? Now you've freed up more time in your day to do the things like pick up your kids, all right? When you're running around putting out fires all flipping day long, all right, that is not a healthy way to live for yourself stress-wise, for yourself effectiveness-wise, or any of the above. Take control of your circumstances. Got it? Okay. Actually implement this time. Here's the other thing Covey says. I love it. Okay? And I think he quotes Emerson or, Thoreau or somebody, right? But in the book, he says, to know and not to do is not to know. So if you're going to come and learn stuff and then not implement it, don't bother waste your time learning it. Are you with me? Save yourself, because you're going to end up at the same spot, only you have wasted 2 hours. Are you with me? So you can't know and not to do, right? So we've got to do. That's why Sarah loves this one. We call it, that's why she brings healthy food, is because we refuse here to go bagel to bagel, right? Here's the life of most real estate agents. Have no plan. I wake up on, what's today, Wednesday? Wake up on Wednesday morning and just go hit my email early and say, okay, what training is going on today? Because there's about 1,500 of them right now, okay, within about an 8-mile radius of where we are, okay? So I just got, you know what? Let me go to that one. So you pick one, you go eat a bagel, all right, because there's always bagel, all right? You eat a bagel, you go, you learn something, you go home, don't implement it, watch Law and Order for 4 hours, all right? Wait till 5 o'clock and it's too late to do anything else. Don't go to the gym, don't do anything else, and next thing you know, boy, this business isn't working for me. Let me get up the next morning, what do? Where do I go today? Oh, here's another training. Bagel, all right? You eat a bagel, you go home, you don't implement. And here's the reality. Whatever you learned at any of those sessions would probably work if you implement it, right? The other thing, we say no bagel to bagel. We also say finish the bridge. All right, a lot of us are really good at starting bridges. We got to get across the river today, all right, or this year. We're going to get across the river. This is the year. We're going to cross the river, right? So you start building this bridge. You go to a seminar, and that's a really good idea. That's a better way to do it. Let's go about that. I learned this really good script on expired, which is great. Again, if it works for you, go for it, right? Start building that bridge, and about a month and a half in, you're like, oh, man, I'm getting beat up a little bit. People have the same list I do. Imagine that. All right, there are other people calling expireds as well, you think? All right? Okay, so I was making some progress. I had a couple closings from it, but you know what? I'm tired of that. So you go back and you start building a different bridge. I'm going to now call da-da-da, right? And you start building that. And at the end of the year, you look back and you've got 6 bridges started and none finished, right? Whereas if you had just stayed with bridge number 1 and finished it, you would have gone across the bridge, all right? You would go across the river. Okay, so you got to not just be, so distracted that you're jumping on the next best thing. All right, find something that works for you, that resonates with who you are internally, and go for it, right? Okay, and get some accountability and make it happen. All right, and it's different for all of us. Some of you are, if you're a smiler and dialer, then do it. I'm with you. Go for it. If you're a Zillow zip code purchaser and it's profitable for you, go for it. I don't mind. Whatever you choose, but do it, right? That's that guy that's on YouTube using to do it. Do it. I'm going to post that. You guys got to see it. He does it better than I do. All right. Okay. Trust the process. It means follow the recipe. All right. Sometimes you guys are baked a cake. Yeah? Yeah? No one baked a cake? Jiminy Christmas. You're good? Culinary school. She's not baking us a cake because we're not allowed to eat cakes, but you can still, because we're only eating fruit. But can you make a fruit cake?
I can.
All right. See? There you go. When you're following the recipe, sometimes it doesn't seem like it's making sense, right? I said, really, that? I'm going to put that in here, and it's going to help my cake taste better? But, all right, I trust the process because I've had that cake before, and they're telling me that this is the menu, or this is the recipe they used, so I'm going to trust the process and go for it, right? And that's what we're going to do. It's, even though it doesn't seem like it's working at the time, it all comes out at the end, all right? So we're going to trust the process, all right? And then love this one. You guys ready for a trip to the moon? All right? We're going to consistently evaluate progress. Here is probably the best 2 slides coming up that you're going to see this day. All right? I'll set the bar low. Okay? Here's the deal. Realtors, mortgage people, transaction coordinators, great at setting goals at the beginning of the year. All right? Then they put them away, lock, stock, safe in my safe, never to be touched again until December 28th. Right? Great, I set my goals, I did my business plan, I'm all Everybody went to a business planning session in December, all right? Everybody does, that's just what you do, all right? Okay, so we all went to business planning sessions, we set our goals, had our plan, everything else, and we can't, where is that? It's in here, we can't find it, right? Here's the thing, we are not good at consistently evaluating our progress. Here's the thing, here's the whole premise behind this. Let me ask you this, you'll understand it. Is it easier to lose 20 pounds or 2 pounds? 2. Safe to say that we should probably catch ourselves when we're 2 pounds overweight rather than we're 20. Yeah? Okay? That's why we weigh ourselves more often, right? Because if you wait until you're 20 pounds overweight to weigh yourself for the first time, now you've got extra work ahead of you. But if I caught myself at 2, all right, I would have remembered Sarah and put the slice of pizza down, all right, and had the salad instead. Without dressing. The dressing's worse than the pizza, people. Don't lie to yourself. Okay, trust me. I did that for a long time. I had salad. My face continues to look like I can't fit through the door. All right, having salad every day. It's with that blue cheese ranch mixture with little something thrown in there, right? Okay. All right, it tasted really good, and then I licked it afterwards, right? So, anyway, so we're going to consider. Here's what. Check this out. This is a great slide. Here's a trip to the moon. Here's our perception. Some really smart people figured out how to shoot a rocket and make it land on the moon. That's what it looks like. If we had a God's eye view of this, it would look like that, right? Trip to the moon. Nice smooth shot. Okay, you want to see reality? Here's the reality. Let's say this box on that parabola there, or on that trajectory, is a 10-second portion of the trip, and we magnified that 1,000 times. The reality is that trip looks like this. They're down to the second they're evaluating their progress because they can't wait a day and a half into their 3-day trip to find out that they're off course. Because I don't know if you know this, but you can study it, but you don't have enough fuel to get to the moon, right? You get out of the Earth's atmosphere, you point in the direction of the moon, and you fire a thrust, and because space is a vacuum, you coast to the moon, right? But you got to have enough in there to kind of do some thrust to make sure you're coasting in the right direction, all right? And then what happens when you get to the moon is you slow down, okay, so that you actually fall around. That's called orbiting. Right? You fall around the moon because the moon's gravity pulls you in, and then you slow down a little bit even more, and you fall/land on the moon. Okay? That's what happens. Right? But they don't have enough fuel to get there, and they still don't have enough fuel to get back. Right? They just got to get up out of there again and shoot in the right direction and get there. Right? Go watch Apollo 13. Is that what it is? That's a great movie, by the way. Remember when they bring in this box of stuff? There's like duct tape and an air filter, and said, "That's what they've got. Get them home." Right? I love that movie, all right? So it's an Overcomers movie. So anyway, so that's the reality. So what am I trying to say here? Is that we need to do this more often, right? So I'm going to sell 40 homes this year. You check yourself for the first time on December 28th and found out you sold 9. You've got 3 days to sell 31. Go. Right? It ain't going to happen. It's too late, ice skate. All right, you've waited too long to make your adjustments. But if we did our business planning like most of you did, right, and you learn I want to sell 40 homes, that means 3.5 roughly per month. That means I need to be X amount of buyers and have this many listings, and you break it all down, because 40 homes isn't that hard when you break it down to the daily work that it takes to get there, all right? There's a great podcast I'm going to try and get out to you. I have to get his permission, called Win the Day. This guy, ex-agent of ours, called Arcadius Barr. Great guy, but he did this thing called Win the Day. And here he said, who wants to win 2018? I'll ask you, who wants to win 2018? Okay, only some of you? All right, okay, all right. So you want to win 2018? Here's what you got to do. You got to win Q1, right? Quarter 1. But here's the thing, if you're going to win quarter 1, you better win January. But here's the thing, if you're going to win January, you better win January 1 through January 7. And if you want to win that week, you better win January 1. And if you want to break it down a little further, you better win 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on January 1. Because if you win enough hours, you win enough days. You win enough days, you win enough weeks. Win enough weeks, you win enough months. Win enough months, you win enough quarters. Win enough quarters, you win enough years. Did I get them all? Did I skip months? Got it in there. Okay. All right. So that's the reality, is that we break it down, we're going to win the day. So what do? We teach what's called a Sunday night ritual. It's once a week. I'm going to ask you to evaluate your progress 52 times this year. All right? And you can start your year today. All right? We'll make this your fiscal year. If you're behind already, then wipe it away and here we go. All right? But on Sunday, we're going to check and say, hey, look, I was supposed to talk to this many people, have this many open houses, and do that, all right? And I was supposed to have 2 open houses this week, and I only had 1. So what does that mean? I'm going to check, I'm 2 pounds overweight, right? So I'm going to catch that and say, okay, next week I'm going to do 3 open houses, because 3 plus 1 is, divided by 2 is 2, so now I'm back on track. All right? If I wait till June 30th and found out I was supposed to have done 2 a week or 52 of them, and I found out that I've only done 4, now I've got 48 to make up, plus the 52 that I need to do for the next 6 months, and you say, you know what? Bartending wasn't that bad. All right? Seriously, right? That's what you say, you know what? I don't feel, and your mind says, yeah, right. Okay, so now you're going to do 96 of them, and when you couldn't do 52 before, your mind calls you on it. They're going to call bullshit. All right? And it's your mind. It's going to say, I don't believe you. All right? So you got to watch that. So we're going to catch ourselves when we're 2 pounds overweight. Fair enough? Everybody agree to that? Okay? So we're going to weigh ourselves a lot. Okay? As much as you don't want to weigh yourself, it's where it is. Okay? All right. So 2 systems. All right, we got to fly, and we will be fast. So 2 systems we teach here. How many of you need a closing yesterday? Okay, I get it, right? I've been there with, hey, look, I got in this business. I was a high school math teacher. I tried it for the summer. I had 10 weeks to make it work. I was getting paid through the summer. And I said, all right, I got 10 weeks to see if I can make a go of this thing. I'm not going to quit my teaching job yet because I need to pay the bills. And I can see if I can create something, make this happen. First weekend of the business, I was with a guy who's a small broker. He had sold me my home, his brand new home, my Mark Ruttenberg home, all right? And so he was the sales guy inside there. I bought our first home because McDougal's were going to buy, all right? And trust me, I rolled nickels to get my down payment, all right? I didn't have portfolio lending, nor would I have qualified for your portfolio lending.
But Mark Ruttenberg built your house?
Yeah.
When was that?
1992, up in Windtree. If you know where Windtree is? Yeah. The sales guy there said, hey, Bob, you're good. We stayed friends after I moved in, and he said, you're teaching, you got a good personality. You should try and get into real estate. I'm starting my own general real estate company. So I said, good, that sounds good. So while I was finishing teaching that year, I got my real estate license, right? Went to night class Century 21. I mean, the dude showed up every night in a gold coat. It was awesome. He was a great guy. I can't remember his name, but he was a really good guy. Solid dude. Did a great job teaching the class. Made it entertaining, and it was awesome. So I got my license. And I said, all right. So school was out yesterday. I said, hey, Dave, what do we do? All right, here we go. All right, I'm in. I got 10 weeks. All right, to make this happen. He said, all right. We just opened the company yesterday. All right, and we've got 1 listing. I said, great. He says, it's my aunt's house. I said, great. I said, go sit in an open house. So I went and sat in an open house. It's right here in Dunedin someplace off of Belcher, and or I don't know if it's Clearwater or Dunedin, but I sat it. 3 people, Saturday and Sunday. I didn't just sit from 1 to 4 because I sat from 9 a.m. is empty, so I sat 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and met 3 people the entire 2 days. Neighbor right next door, neighbor across the street 5 doors down, just wanted to see, hey, I heard they painted a certain color in the dining room, right? And I wanted to see if I wanted to use that same color. And then this dude who said, yeah, shoot, I'd love to buy. Problem was he rolled up on a bike, all right? And when I had him checked out with my lender, they said, something about getting out of jail for the last week, had something to do with the fact, all right? Stability of income wasn't quite, where it needed to be. So I said, all right, 1 weekend gone. So what do I do? So, remember I told you, uphill to school both ways in the snow, all right, pre-internet. So of course, my first answer was, I'm going to go Google. No, okay, can't Google it. It's 1993. Let's see. I'm opening the paper, okay? There's things that we used to have called newspapers, all right, that were printed on with black ink. When you looked at them, you opened it up, you got ink on your fingers sometimes and everything else, all right? So I was rifling through the paper, And in the back of the real estate section on Friday, it had this little list of the Department of Housing and Urban Development listed homes for sale. They were HUD foreclosures, right? So it said, had this list of about 12, 15 properties, and at the bottom it said, contact your local HUD broker. So I called my guy, hey, are we a local HUD broker? And he's like, what? I said, I guess not. So then did some more research, had to go to the library, didn't look on the, just kind of figured things out. Went to the local Tampa HUD office, okay, in downtown Tampa on Cass. Remember, like it was yesterday, drove down, paid for my parking, all right, which took about, just 75 cents, took about a third of my whole entire marketing budget that I'd saved, all right? So went into this Tampa HUD office and finally found the right department and finally got up there and you said, in typical government fashion, didn't smile and threw an 1.5 inch thick manual at me and said, here you go. So I go home and I'm reading through this thing, filling out the paperwork for my broker so we can become a licensed HUD broker. And about halfway through, it says, anybody who's a licensed HUD broker has the authority or the right to sit open houses at our properties. And they're only on market for 10 days. I said, there's motivation, that's cool, right? So I said, what the heck, right? So I read through, had to say government resale open house. I thought the sign had to say that, right? Couldn't say anything else. Government resale open house. So I went and sold something so I could afford 6 signs that cost me $128. I remember like it was yesterday. I probably still have the receipt someplace in case the IRS is watching, all right? $128, government resale open house. I got this one listed. It was down in Largo. It was off of Belcher, south of East Bay, and it was a little tiny home down there. But I remember I got there, I said, all right, I have it for Saturday and Sunday. So I showed up literally at 8 a.m. I got out of my car, put my 2 signs in Belcher, right? Got in, drove down, two streets down, pulled over. As soon as I pulled over, it's like 8:15 in the morning, all right? As soon as I pull over, car pulls behind me, all right? So I get out of the car, I get in my trunk, and I was born in Southern California, right? Not in the hood, but the edge of the hood, all right, okay? And so I was a little, I was born and raised a little skeptical, right? So I'm kind of eyeballing him, I kind of nod, he nods, all right? I get my next sign out, I'm kind of looking over my shoulder, I stick it in the ground, all right? Hop in my car quickly, pull up 2 more streets down where the street is, where the house is, pull over, 2 cars pull behind me, all right? So I stick that sign in the yard, government resale open house, stick that in, all right? Go down, 5 houses down on the left, that's the house, all right? By the time I got to the house, 3 cars already there. And it's 8:20 in the morning. All right? I'm like, huh. Okay? That day, 36 people rolled through. Okay? From that day forward, for the next 10 years, you'd be hard-pressed not to find me at some type of bank foreclosure open house. It's what I know. Right? And what did I do? Okay? That was the start. 8 weeks into my 10 weeks now. Okay? 8 weeks from there, 9 weeks in. All right? I went and delivered, hey, I'm not coming back to teaching. Already closed 4 homes, had another 6 under contract. Okay, they're not high-end stuff. All right, but I had 10 transactions in the can just from the people I was meeting there. Because I was, again, high school math teacher, I understand statistics and probability, right? 3 people in 2 days versus 36 people in 1 day, I got a better shot. Even if I'm not, people, seriously guys, I was in the business for a week and a half, right? People wandering through, hey, how did this work? I'm like, hey, yeah, go look around. I got that manual. I'm like, trying to figure it out. No, it's a sealed bid. And bids are due by Monday, and they're opened up the following Tuesday morning. Acting like I knew what the heck I was doing, right? But I figured, they didn't care, all right? The next house I went to, people said, hey, why are you sitting out here on the patio or in the lanai out front, the porch? I said, you go in and take a whiff. You'll tell me why, all right? You ever smelled those government foreclosures, all right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, they leave stuff in the fridge and it's ugly, right? I didn't care. I was meeting 36 people, right? I was having more chances to get eyeball to eyeball with people. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I figured it out. And I just got really good at converting them. Hey, what are you looking for? Like, oh man, it smells in there. I know. How about let's go find a house that doesn't smell. That was my whole sales pitch. All right? What's your script, Bob? Let's go find a home that doesn't smell. All right? There's my entire script. All right? But I had access to the MLS. I'd go back to the office, right? And go get it done and go deliver these lists. And I got relationships with people and I started selling stuff. Now, is that still possible today? The answer is absolutely yes. And that is part of what we call corn planting, and I'll tell you why. Because this is simple. Yeah, you do. All right? Let's do things backwards. Here's what every other training, I told you there are 1,500 other trainings going on right now in real estate. all right, all of them are going to lead with this. If you're going to last in this business, you better have to, right? That's the mantra. I told you I'm going to do things backwards. Work with buyers. Okay, so who are my new agents? Okay.
Margo.
Margo, where do you live?
West Chase.
West Chase, okay. So what's the highest end section? What's the gated section where the highest sale properties in West Chase?
Treetops.
Go treetops. Okay, very good. I know treetops. Okay, so so Margo's been in the business 3 months.
Yes.
Okay. Unlike your very experienced compadre who's been 3.5 months, right? Okay. So Margo's been in 3 months. Where'd my water go? And Margo somehow happens, she's in, somewhere and gets a sense, and a friend of a friend says, hey, look, I've got somebody I think that might be selling in treetops. You reach out and say, what the heck? Come on over, all right? I've got 4 other people coming, so you feel free to be one, and we'll see what you got, right? So Margo goes in there, completely lacking any type of confidence, right? Which is understandable, right? 3 months into the business, how many listings in treetops have you had? None, right? And so who's she up against? The other 4 that list in treetops like all day long, right? So she's going to go in because she went to her training and said, you got to list. If you're going to last, you better list, right? Margo, you better list. So she goes in, okay, I'm going to do what I'm so told to do. I'm going to list. So she goes in there and she goes,
It's not even really.
I know, exactly, right? Okay, and you go in and somebody else had you left, and as you're pulling up, all right, out drives this Jaguar pulling out from the thing, all right? There's a lady, you've seen her. Oh, that's the lady on the billboards. That's the lady and you come in, oh, yeah, I just interviewed so-and-so, and we hang out at the country club together, and da-da-da-da. And you're like, why am I here, right? So you do your thing, and she says, oh, that's nice, Margo, I appreciate it, but you know what? The lady who just left, she left me a report that said she sold 42 of these in the zip code last year. How many did you sell? You're like, well, if I sell yours, it'll be 1, right? Okay, here's the thing. If someone's teaching you got to go list to last, you're going to lose. You're going back to your prior job. I'm just telling you, right? Because you are going to lose. You want the truth or do you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Jack Nicholson, I love that movie. All right? Okay? Here's the reality. Okay? I want to be truthful with you. Okay? So, how does Margo get that listing? Let me show you. So, Margo goes to Town and Country. All right? Okay? Okay? Just teasing you guys. Relax, all right? I used to live close to there, right? And that's what we respectfully called it, right? Exactly, okay? We got Larghetto and we got Town and Compton, all right? So, jeez. You guys need to lighten up, man. Gee. All right, so Margo goes and does a bank foreclosure in Town and Country, all right? And while she's there, she meets this little Susie who wanders in. She goes, yeah, well, I just graduated from USF 6 months ago, but I've got a really good job in the field of which I have a degree, all right? And my lender's in the room, okay? College degree, job steady position in the field in which they've got their degree. Can we go, is that qualifiable?
All I need is 1 pay stub.
All right, all we need is 1 pay stub, all right? So you know that because you were here and you got a chance to meet them, and so you got to meet Scott. So now you said, we're in, right? You introduce her and you sell this you go through all the work, maybe you find some down payment assistance and all this kind of stuff, and you get her into this $120,000 home. So now, and in that time period, she's now engaged, right? So it's just a wonderful world. She's graduated from college, you've helped her buy her first home, she's engaged, she's excited, and guess what happens?
Refer.
Thanksgiving comes around, and where does she go? She goes to Aunt Gertie's house, and where does Aunt Gertie live? Treetops. Right? So she's in at Treetops having her Thanksgiving dinner because she and her fiance can't afford, Aunt Gertie's dinner is much better Thanksgiving, right? That's when we like relatives, all right? Is that when they're wealthy, right? And so we go hang out with Aunt Gertie, we're eating well, and she goes, oh, it's so great, Susie, I can't believe you graduated, you've now engaged, and now you've bought your first home. That's incredible. I didn't think you could buy a home that quick. Well, either did I until I met Margo. Really? Well, tell me about that. So she goes through the whole process and says, you know what? Now that your Uncle John's passed away, I'm thinking this place in Treetops is getting a little big for us. Do you think Margo might help me find a way that I could sell my place?
Yes, she will.
Yes, she will. Right? And Margo goes in, all right, and Margo calls me and says, Bob, broker Bob, I got this listing appointment in Treetops. What do I do? I said, well, no other people are coming. I said, go with the CMA and a listing agreement. That's it. There's your whole presentation. Yeah, but don't I need PowerPoint slides? I said, nope. Not if you're the only one. Just go be you. All right? She walks in, she says, you know what? My niece Susie speaks so highly of you. I believe you, let's go. Okay? So what happened there is that instead of her trying to dance, what we call dance for your dinner, right? When you're 1 of 5. List with me, I'm the best that's ever gonna be, right? Or whatever you do, whatever you call your listing appointment, all right, your listing presentation, that's the same as everybody else's, by the way, all right? So she gets that listing, and then what happens is Jaguar driving, Rolex wearing, what's her name, all right, wakes up the next morning, sees a new listing in Treetops, and says, who's Margot, what? How'd that happen, right? Well, it's because Margot what? Okay, paid attention to Susie Sue, all right, back when she was just a little tiny college graduate, and Aunt Gertie loved Susie Sue. That's the way it works, all right? I'm just telling you. You know the number of stories I could tell about how my buyers led me to my listings rather than my listings led me to my buyers. I'm just telling you. A qualified buyer ready to close, willing to close, and loyal to you is ready as a paycheck waiting to happen. Do we look at them that way? No. But that's why we call it corn, because corn is fast. You plant corn late May, early June, you're eating corn by late July, early August. All right? I harvested 10 corn stalks in my first 8 weeks of the business. All right? Because that's how fast corn is. It really is. It's that fast, guys. If I'd gone to my first listing presentations, I would have got slammed. All right? So get that whole idea out of your mind. I'm telling you, we're doing things backwards. Think of yourself upside down right now. But I'm going to teach you how to work with buyers. I'm going to show you how to have traffic-generating events. Why traffic-generating events? Because our job is to get in front of as many eyeballs as we can. Because eyeball to eyeball will be pixel to eyeball every day of the week. Right? Chris Light, he's kind of a rock star in 100K dumb. Right? So Chris, probably about 1.5 years ago, 18 months ago, came to his first 100K session. He had just left Publix full-time. He had been there for like 19 years, right, or something like that, since he was 16. He's a younger guy, so he works through, has a family, decided to burn the boats and said, that's it, I'm tired of it. I'm going to go for it and make real estate happen, come hell or high water, right? And so Chris comes to 100K and he starts doing what we told him to do. Right? He goes out, and I love this story. He goes and he meets a buyer. This guy's a VA, and he's got a great VA connection. He says, oh, that's my VA buyer. You're a VA buyer, boom, boom, boom. Gets them all set up. Really? I can buy no money down. You get someone to pay all my closing costs, everything good to go, right? Okay, the guy calls him back and says, hey, Chris, I met you. Oh, yeah, John, how's it going, man? I heard you got pre-approved with the group, and everybody's all set up, right? Oh, yeah, everything's solid. He said, but you know what? My dad, who's also a military vet, told me to call you USSA, right? Is that triple S? Are there 3 S's in that? USAA. Oh, USSA, sorry. All right. So USAA or USAA, USAA. All right, got it. All right. So call USAA, and they're telling me, yeah, they can help me out as well, but they said they've got this special program that if I use one of their preferred real estate agents, they'll cut back 0.5% or a full % of their commission back to my closing costs. So he's telling Chris this, right? And Chris is like, crap. There goes 1% of my commission. Right? He's going to have to match it, right? It's because he's, he goes, and before he could get the words out of his mouth, the guy says, but you know what I told him, Chris? Nah, thanks, but I've already met my real estate agent. Do you think Chris is having that dialogue if he had been a Facebook ad to this guy? No way, right? He got face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, and he wins because any of you, it's not just me, any of you who get face-to-face will beat anybody who's just a picture on a computer screen. Mm-hmm. I'm here to tell you. Right? It just is. It's a fact. And how do we then go get in front of as many eyeballs as we can? People that poo-poo open houses are losers. I'm just telling you. You know why? You know what they want you to do? Either that or they're selling Zillow zip codes. They're telling you got to have one of these if you're going to survive. I say BS. All right? I hawked things to get my $128 government resale open house signs, and it parlayed it into a lot of money. I had those signs for a long time. Right? And they serve me well. Go get in front of people. Do you want to do it forever? No. But compared to what you're doing, yes. So you'll see, we're going to see on this Facebook group page, people are going to say, hey, Bob, should I sit in an open house? Yes. Okay? The only answer to that is unless you're going to a closing, then no. Okay? Really? Thursday morning at 9 a.m.? What the heck? Compared to what? That's my answer. Compared to what? Compared to, well, it's not Regis and Kathy Lee anymore. What's it now?
Hoda.
Who? Hoda and who?
Hoda and Kathy.
Hoda and Kathy Lee, all right? Yeah, compared to that, yeah, go sit in open house.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. All right. You're going to sing show tunes for us later, aren't you? I got it. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to go do traffic generating events. We're going to get in front of people, whatever it takes. Sherry Lowry, all right? Taking them to a next level. Sherry says, hey, forget that. How about if I just have them come to me without having to do it? So Sherry, I'll get your question in a sec. Sherry has a bank-owned open house information booths at both the Wagon Wheel and where else? And the Oldsmar Flea Market. People come in every day, they're open, all right? And hey, I'd love to, what's this? They're like, what? I thought people go to the flea market to buy taser guns and ShamWows, or whatever those are, right? Okay? But they do, but while they're there, they happen to run into you sitting at this thing. So Sherry has some openings, yes? Okay.
Needs to be new buyers, let me know, see me afterwards. You know, we're looking for new agents. We're going into our busy season, so we're ready to, we got, I think we met 30 to 40 people last weekend. So.
Qualified people looking to buy.
Anybody that wants to.
Telling you. Traffic generating events, eyeball to eyeball. You will win. Yeah, but I'm not very good with people. A, either get out of the business, or guess what? I'm not saying you have to be a high I. Do you know that the good news about the DISC profile is this? Is that you are one of those, all right? You could be close to other things, but you have higher tendencies in certain areas, right? But they're the people that you're running into are also one of those profiles. And they need you, not me, right? If I fully admit that 3/4 of the people that walked into those open houses ran from me, right? I was too high energy, too whatever for them, and that's okay. They needed you, a little more calming influence, right? Get things done. We'll just figure that kind of stuff out, all right? So we need to have these traffic generated events, and we just have learned bank foreclosures is one idea. Why? Because I'm at 36 instead of 3, right? So that's just what I do. Bank-owned open houses, converting walk-in. How do we get good at that? We'll teach you. Can I tell you the first word? Write this one. Write this one down. What's the most important thing to have at your open house? You. Right? Here's the attitude I learned. That first weekend I was at the business, I was at those bank-owned open houses. These people came. You know what? And I started learning. Again, this is the spiritual side of me. It said, help me be a blessing to them today. And they have no idea how lucky they are to get a chance to meet me in the next 5 minutes. Seriously, that's the attitude I mean, you know what? And if I started doing this again, if God took everything away, which everything I have is God's, God took everything away and I had to start all over, you know what I'd do? Dust off my bank-owned open house signs. I'm just telling you. All right? And I started it, and I would kill it. I guarantee it. Kill it. From scratch. This is very arrogant of me, but imagine that. Okay? Blindfold me, drop me anywhere in America. All I ask is for a real estate license to sell in that state. Where you drop me, don't even tell me where I am. I'll go to the library and figure it out. Okay? All right, I'll have something under contract in a week. Don't believe me? All right? Let's make a reality show out of it. Let's do it. All right? Seriously, put me anywhere you want, and I'll have something under contract in a week. What am I going to do? I'm going to go handwrite bank-owned open house or whatever I have to do, all right, to get these things done. And I'll meet people, and I'll go figure it out. All right? If that's what it takes. If it meant that that's how I got to eat, all right, then I would. Okay? It's just a matter of doing it. So we're going to get really good at converting that. We're going to become experts in investor buying, okay? Because you're going to run into a lot of those. Raise your right hand, okay? Flippers are not buyers. Put your hand down, okay? They're looking for a needle in a haystack, and you're wasting your time if you're trying to find that needle for them, okay? And if you do find it, buy it yourself. Okay? Seriously, why do you want to make 3% of 80 grand and let them make 40 grand in profit when you could be the one making the 40 grand in profit? But I don't have the money. Yeah, you do. Why? Because you have the lead. Okay? A good deal can always find the money. Why? Because money's always looking for a good deal. Mm-hmm. All right?
We can always find you money too.
What's that?
We can always find you hard money.
Absolutely. There's money to be had. All right? It's out there. So don't work with these flippers. You always know when Ron LeGrand rolls into town, don't you? Okay, he rolls in, does a seminar, and next thing you're getting hit up from Eddie. Hey, I'm going to write this option contract, 4 different options, and I'll be the wholesaler in the middle of the bed at option, and I'll sell the option. Okay, if you're with Future Home Realty, we don't allow you to do that. So if you'd like to do that, go find another company to work with. All right. Okay, work first-time home buyers with vigor. Why? Oh, by the way, here's what a buyer is to us. Ready for this? Here's some criteria. Ready? Here's what a buyer. Okay, able to buy. Oh, you got a question. Okay, able to buy? Okay, what does that mean, lenders?
Qualified.
Yeah, thank you. They can get a loan. All right, so able to buy, willing to buy. All right, I'm not having to drag them along. Come on, let's go look at houses. Come on. All right, okay, that's not a buyer. You're having to talk them in to go look at houses is not a buyer. All right, willing to buy, able to buy, willing to buy, needs to buy. Hey, my lease is coming up in 60 days. Right? That's a needs to buy. We're just moving into town, and our granddaughters or our daughter's having her first grandchild. We got to get something in right away. Okay, needs to buy. Here's a big one, number 4. Ready? Loyal to you. Loyal to you. Yeah, go ahead and send me a list. I'll add it to the other 18 I'm getting. Okay, you just stick with your 18 and have a great day. What? Well, you aren't going to say that if you're only meeting one person at the open house. You're meeting one person at the open house, that's your lead for the day, and you're latching on to them like there's no tomorrow. And they're giving you every sign that they don't want to work with you, and they're like, who are you? What? Get off my leg, right? And you're like, no, I promise I can find a, you know what? Hey, we get it all the time. How do you get people to call you back? If they're not calling you, dudes, we know this. Guys, if you don't get her answer on the 4th phone call, right? Probably means she's not interested. Are you with me? Right? Same thing with buyers. Don't chase them, right? Here's my goal, 1 a day. Sit in an open house. If I could sit in an open house, I took 2 weekends off, all right? So that was 50 weekends that I could sit, Saturday and Sunday. That's 100 open houses. If I can meet, on average, 1 qualified buyer a day, I could sell 100 homes a year, and that's what I did. Okay, now here's the difference in me and you. I might have got shut out in the first 4, but I showed up on number 5, and I'm at 5 that day, so my averages were back in. Where everybody else stopped and said, oh, this isn't working, I'm going to go back to bartending or cutting hair. All right? So, we're going to do something else. Are you with me? Okay. All right. List by referral only. That's when Aunt Gertie comes and says, come list my home. All right? You don't need a listing presentation for that. Period. You win. All right? You won by selling niece Susie the home. Cool? Now, that's all great. Corn is fast. Here's the bad news about corn. Corn is quick. I can show you there are going to be people that are going to apply what I'm telling you right now, going to come back when we meet 2 weeks from now, are going to have new buyers that they didn't have today. Completely new, that they don't know, not in their sphere, not in their sphere. Right? But only those who implement it. All right? The bad news about corn is it never stays done. It is an annual. To harvest corn, you chop it down. You come back to the field next year, and you say, hey, field, where's my corn? The field says, where's my seed? Where's my water? Where's my fertilizer? And you're like, really? Every year? The field says, yep. So that's that hamster wheel, right? Never-ending process, right? Okay? Not bad. It's a very well-paying hamster wheel, can be. But how do we get off of that? Well, I want more for you. So we're going to also plant some oranges. All right? Here's the bad news. I'll give you the bad news about oranges first. Oranges are slow. Anybody grown something in an orchard before? Okay? I grew up in Southern California. I told you in the hood, not on the edge of the hood, not in the hood. All right? Dad died when I was 15, so we moved to Northern California. I went from surfing to riding a tractor. It's like Green Acres. All right? Here we go. All right? And so I worked on this farm, but I learned a lot about the law of the harvest. All right? So I'm working for this farmer. He had a lot of acreage, a lot of different things. He grew walnuts and almonds in Yuba City, California. All right? Sarah grew up in Live Oak. Gridley. It's even smaller to Live Oak.
5 minutes.
Okay, well, but how close? Who's bigger, Live Oak or Gridley?
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Even.
They probably have about 600 people each. All right. Okay.
Maybe 8 now.
Okay. Oh, very good. Oh, it's booming. All right. So that being said, all right, I worked on this farm, and this guy, he just started. He did a lot of other things, but I was in charge of the kiwi, and he was just getting into kiwi. This is 1982. Okay, Messick. I don't know if you don't. Huh? Absolutely.
Wife was a teacher in our school.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably it's one of the son's wives. Right, exactly. So I worked for the Messicks. Great. She went to Beth, one of the daughters, and I went to high school together. So I worked on their farm, and he just started kiwi, right? And so kiwi, it was kind of hot at the time and everything else, but I said, I was learning, and I just said, so kiwi plants, basically you have to kiss them and tuck them to bed every night. All right, that much, you just got to really, and they got to be trimmed like every other day and everything else, so you get them growing in this canopy and all this stuff, right? So I'm learning all this, and so I'm talking to the farmer guy, and I said, hey, so how far out are you from harvesting here? He said, well, probably our first decent one, we might get some in about 6 years, but probably 8 years is what we're looking at. I'm like, 8 years? I said, that's half my life, right? Because when I was 16, it was half my life, right? It's no longer half my life. Did you know that? It's the way it works that way. Now that I'm 51, 8 years is no longer half my life, okay? All right, but when I was 16, it was like, man, how do you think that far ahead, right? Whereas now 8 years is like gone, right? But back then I was like, wow, in the world. So you do it. But the good news is that 8 years from now, when he starts to get that kiwi harvest, he doesn't have to chop the kiwi plant down, right? Once it's there, it can, long as it's properly maintained and not nearly the effort you had to do in the very first, right? Early on, they're so susceptible to disease and all this kind of stuff, you got to really take care of them. That's what we're going to help you do, is we're going to plant oranges, because eventually, here's how we're going to make the annuity out of our business. You ready? Okay? We're going to start planting oranges. And after a while, we're going to have oranges that are producing fruit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take another part of your acreage and you're going to go plant some more oranges, and then you're going to pay somebody to go pick your oranges, because they're your oranges, right? Take them to market, do all the work, and pay you 25% of the sale price. It's called a referral fee, right? Eventually now you're doing all your acreage is in oranges, and you're sitting in a villa in Tuscany, and your job each day is to get up and just check your bank account. Okay? Boom. Yep. Okay? They did their job, and we're out. Okay? Okay? And your stock market. Okay? Everything else. Okay? Your investment portfolio, because now you're an I.
Yeah.
All right? And you're doing it. So how are we going to do that? Okay, so here's the story. This is simple. Okay? 7 level. Who's read 7 Levels of Communication? Fantastic book. It's the best book, I think, that discusses how to attack the real estate business I've ever seen. Right? Because what is it teaching you? It's not this. Have you ever been to one and says, okay, here's what we're going to do, guys, right? First thing, you got to be on your cards, and every phone call you make, you have to end with, by the way, anybody looking to know buy or sell real estate? By the way, you looking to buy or sell real estate? By the way, hey, what's your name? Hey, Marilex, nice to meet you. By the way, you anybody looking to buy or sell real estate? All right? That's what you're taught to do, right? It's that constant. Next thing you know, you start walking in a room and people are like, oh, here he comes. All right? And they're running away from you, right? It's the truth, because you're chasing them, right? How about instead, in the story of 7L, we focus on what's called the generosity generation, where you go give massive value first, all right? You give massive value first, and then they will reciprocate that. Results are proven, and we'll be out of here in 10 minutes, I promise. Stop, period, asking, period, for, period, referral, stop it, right? You have not, here's another hashtag for you, you have not earned the right to get a referral. What makes you think because you passed a flippin' test that they should do business with you? There is no good answer to that. That's why you're rightfully and justifiably silent, right? Because just because you passed a test, you don't earn the right to get a referral. You know what you need to do is you're going to need to go give massive value first. So here's a story. Brentwood Baptist Church outside of Nashville. Brentwood Baptist has anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 people attend it in any weekend. When you have that many attendees, they got 80 dentists, right, that attend. Just the law of averages says that. So they got 80 dentists here. You know what they decided to do? They wanted to go help people in the inner city. So they created one of these really cool mobile dental labs. And they asked these 80 guys, said, hey, and gals, hey, 2 hours a month, can you donate 2 hours a month? Like, yeah, all right. So we got these 80 dentists given 2 hours a month. So they just go drive this thing into the inner city, throw open the doors and say, how can we help? We'll fix your teeth. Here we go, right? People show up. They're not getting charged. They get their teeth fixed. Everything's good while you've got a captured audience because you've got this mouth spreader in their mouth. All right? You just say, hey, look, anything I can help you with? Hey, while you're here, anything we can pray with you about, and so on and so forth. Let me ask you this. Have they earned the right to be heard? I say yes. Right? Is it better than painting John 3:16 on my chest and walking around downtown? All right? Okay, what do you think is more effective? I'd say go help people and earn the right to be heard, right? Now, I'm not saying we're going to do that, but that's part of what we're going to do. We're going to go give massive value first. That's what the generosity generation teaches. If your job every day is to wake up and say, how can I go give value to people, right? That's just, boy, that's a lot better than how am I going to call expireds today, right? For me, at least. That resonates better with my soul, all right, to get that done. And we're going to study this. Focus on people and relationships. Right? That's what we're going to go and catch this. We're going to dig deeper with a few rather than shallow with many. Write 2 numbers down. You ready? 150, 150, and 22,500. 150, 22,500. Okay? How many people do I need in my database? I claim you only need 150. Why? Because 150 equals 22,500. Because 150? No, 150. 150 squared? Don't believe me? I was a math teacher. Challenged me on this one. 22,500. All right? You take care of 150 people, you will never want for business again. And what do I mean care? Care is not call them up every other week and say, by the way, anybody looking to buy or sell real estate? All right? Taking care of them is, hey man, I was just driving by and I saw a billboard for a martial arts studio and I remember you were getting ready to take some Taekwondo lessons. How's that going? Period, stop, end of statement. Shut your mouth. Seriously, that's it. Hey, I was just driving by and I saw a little ballet studio and I just thought about you because I know your daughter's getting ready to take some ballet. How's that going? Period, stop, end of statement. Shoot. Hey, just thinking about you, maybe we can grab a cup of coffee sometime. And why will they have a cup of coffee with you? Because the last time they talked to you, you didn't say, by the way, you're looking to buy or sell real estate. Because you're going to say, hey, look, man, well, what's going on? How can I help? Right? What's your biggest challenge right now? Anything I can help you with? And you go help people find solutions, and they will remember it, and they will reciprocate it. And better off than that, if you want to find the best people to put in your database, part of your 150, find other business owners. Why? Because business owners understand the power of the introduction, right? Who's going to appreciate you introducing somebody better than somebody introduces me to other business, right? And so then now you're multiplying your effects and you're getting business referrals from the business owner and the person you referred them to, or you referred to them. Are you with me? It's just that simple. And the cool thing is the book is written about a guy who goes to a seminar. He's ready to get out of the business. It's a narrative. It's a real easy read. He leaves his credit card in the car, says, I swear they're not getting a dime out of me. All right, I've gone to these seminars all my life, and every time I leave, and I'm lighter in my pocketbook, right? So he leaves it, but unfortunately he had his credit card memorized, all right, and he got talked into signing up for some training. That's the bad news for him. The good news for him is that he got to go to the training or got one-on-one coaching and learned a lot and revamped his whole business. Good news for you is for $16.95 or whatever it costs to buy the book, we get to listen into the training. All right? So we're just going to be a little fly on the wall and listen to how he gets trained by this personal coach. Cool thing? All right? So it's a lot cheaper. All right? $16.95. Deeper with you. In essence, you're going to stop selling, start attracting. All right? So here's the deal. Is the problem what to do, or is the problem to do? To do. So the committed, here's where rubber meets the road. All right? This all sounds exciting until now. Okay? Because I toyed, at one point I was going to, yes, Sarah?
Can I plug on the 7 levels?
Please.
Bob introduced me to the 7 levels last January, and I started implementing it in February. By June, I doubled my business, and in July, I doubled June's business. Just from the 7 levels of communication.
She's the biggest giver I've ever seen, all right? But because of that, she's now the biggest getter, right? It's the law of the harvest, right? You can't give that much without getting. And if she doesn't ask for it, it just happens, right? Because if Sarah gives massive value to me, I'm psychologically indebted to her, right? Seriously, I don't even realize it, but I just I owe her one. That was really cool, right? It's just the way it goes, all right? And that's the way it would be for you, and that's awesome. So thank you for that plug, and it's great. And Michael Mayer, by the way, he's part of the 100K group page, all right? So be careful what you say about the book. If you don't like it, just be gentle, because he's in there, all right? He's the author, all right? And so when I started this committed, I say, hey, look, what's the difference? The difference in those who do and those who don't, or those who do, right? And so I toyed with going negative on this and calling this Excuse Makers Anonymous, all right? I was going to make you stand up. Hi, my name's Karen. Hi, Karen. Yeah, I said I was going to do that, and I didn't. Okay, so we'll probably have a little bit of that, but we're not going to call it that. We're going to be focusing more. Come on, we're going to focus on the positive aspect, and we're going to be committed to this time. All right? This is simple. Here's what's going to happen. You got to agree to submit to an accountability partner and to the group. All right? You got to meet with somebody personally in between our sessions, and you got to be accountable to the running group. Right? Even if it's 8. All right? And we don't want to get up and run. Okay? Meet with your accountability partner in person one time in between our group sessions. We'll talk about that. Do not allow for anything to stop you from taking the steps in the process. All right, refuse to say, you know what, this time I'm going to do it. All right, it's refuse to allow yourself, your accountability partner, or the group to make excuses to come to the lack of effort. Here's what happens. I've had people that have come to 6 sessions of these, and they're the same accountability partners, and obviously they're not very good. All right, because they listen to each other's excuses. Right? They want somebody they want to surround themselves with somebody who says, oh, that's okay. I know your kid's got strep throat. Okay? No, you want me to be your accountability partner? Strep throat, schmep throat, all right? I didn't say anywhere in this right, where it said that you were going to do that only if your kid, I didn't see that in the contract. Contract said you were going to get it done, period, end of statement. Not if everything was perfect in the world. Guess what? There is no perfect place in the world, and don't look for it, right? It all happened back, Adam, Eve, apple, fall, okay? It's gotten uglier since that day, and it will continue to get uglier until the end, okay? This is what it is, part of life, okay? Deal with it. Finish. Don't just start, finish. Finish your bridge. Got it? So here's your commitments to the team. How much do you have to pay me to be part of this group? 0. But there are some commitments. Are you ready for them? And here's why I like to step on toes and sometimes stomp. So those of you front row, you might want to put your feet back. Here we go. Got to be willing to change. Be honest and accountable. Agree to read at least 1 book a month. We'll start with 1, all right? But at least 1 book a month. Ah, Bob, I don't read. Okay, then you know what? You got problems. I'm going to ask you to read. Get 8 out. What? Impossible, I hear. Right? 8 hours of sleep. You know what? It's the foundation to health. And if you're going to attack this business with vigor, you've got to stay healthy. Right? Told you I live in Nashville and some other parts where actually I've got my family, we're moving around quite a bit, so we get some flexibility in our moving. But right now, I haven't been on an airplane in 6 weeks, which is huge for me. You know why? These are flying cesspools of germs. They are, man, they are. It's just, I was getting sick no matter what I did. I was masking, double mask, triple mask. I was putting masks, you know, you couldn't even see me. It was like a mummy. All right? Okay? Still getting sick. I couldn't, you know, stay healthy. So I started driving down here. All right? I said, I'm tired of it. I can't afford to be, you know, unhealthy. And so we made some changes. All right? But that being said, 8 hours of sleep a night is the foundation to it. All right? And before you tell me you can't, better be careful. I'm going to ask to look at your calendar. Or I'm going to ask to follow you around for a day.
So how long do you drive from Tennessee?
Tennessee takes about 10 hours. Yeah. But I've also got to I'm not doing that all the time anymore, but I'm here more. So it's good. So we still have our house, and we can talk that later. But I'm in back and forth a little bit. All right. But I'm here a lot. Because you know what? I'm growing our Orlando business. By the way, if you know agents in Orlando, they're looking for a hybrid of Keller Williams and Charles Rutenberg. We're it. We are the bridge. All right? Great training, great support, great all the stuff you love about KW. Great compensation, even better than Rutenberg's compensation plan. That's us. All right? Here we go. Drink 64 ounces of water a day. What does this have to do with selling real estate? Nothing, but if you're going to sell real estate, you better be healthy. Yep. All right, Gary, look at me. How many ounces is that one, dude? 4? All right. Okay, 16 of those. 16 of those bad boys. Yeah, but you know what? You're on your way, brother. All right? You're only 15 more to go. Here we go. Oh, you 2? All right, so you only got 14 more to go.
No, this is 8.
I get it. It's 8? Yeah. All right, good job. All right. Okay, here's the thing. Water is key, right? And water in wine and water in coffee doesn't count. All right? I get that they're made with the same stuff. All right? Doesn't matter. All right? Our health guy will tell us doesn't count, right? Water's it. Okay? So, agree to perform 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise 3 days a week. What? I told you it's a holistic approach. We're attacking our LYs, right? This is the physically part of it. What does that have to do with... Write it down. So you're committing to it. You don't owe me anything. I'm not charging $850 to go to bowl. All right? I'm just asking you to walk. Start walking. If that's what your cardiovascular... Why? Here's the thing. If you're going to attract people, you need to be attractive. And guess what? Mentally and physically, I feel more attractive when I do my workout in the morning. All right? Seriously. First of all, I feel better that people should be in business and do business with me when my pants fit. All right? It's just true, right? Because I've had one of my pants. It's like, it's like, holy smokes, these things shrink? No, something else grew. All right? Okay? That's just the way it is. But when I walk out of the house and my pants are fitting like they're supposed to, I feel like I got my stuff together. Plus, I'm like, damn straight should do business with me. I was disciplined this morning and got my workout in. Right? You want to do business with a schlep? Go for it. But if you want, you get a chance to do business with me. Right? I'm just telling you, it's an attitude that you have. You don't have to, be arrogant about it, but it's just,
extrude.
Yeah, extrude. Thank you very much. I was getting my thesaurus out. I got to get a word. All right? Okay? It pours out of me, right? That I'm just confident in what I do. All right? Not arrogant, confident. Are you with me? Okay? And that's part of it. Plus, if you're going to make all this money, let's live around. Let's just not make it for your posterity. All right? And let your kids live off it. Live to enjoy it. Okay? Volunteer at a nonprofit 4 hours a month. Love that. Why? Because givers get. right? The more you go give, and you get outside of yourself, and you remove yourself from your problems, and you know what, you can have a dose of reality when you go work at the homeless shelter. You have a dose of reality when you work at some of these other places that say, hey, you know what? There are people worse off than me, right? And so, you know what? It's not, so I don't care if it's working at the Arbor Society or working with Mangy. And here's what happens, guys. I have assigned this so many times, and never has anybody taken me up on it, that within a month and a half, they get business out of their nonprofit work. Not because they're asking about it, because they're not washing a dog and saying, by the way, anybody looking to buy or sell real estate? All right, okay? It's not what they're doing. But is there a common bond, all right? So Sammy and I are volunteering at the Humane Society, all right? And this mangy mutt comes in, and we're giving it a flea bath, right? And we're, you know, she's working on one dog, I'm working on the other. Do you think there's a common bond between us already, even though we haven't said a word to each other? The fact that we're giving up time out of our Saturday to work at a mangy, flea-ridden, you think there's a common bond there? Yeah. Is it easy to strike up a conversation? Absolutely. It's like natural, right? Next thing you know, hey, what can I do to help you? And she's like, what can I do to help you? And boom, that's just, hey, it's the way it works. I don't care. Teach it a Sunday school class. Do whatever, okay? But get outside yourself. Fair enough? All right, so you have to commit to that. We have to, here's a stomper. Donate 10% of your income to a church, synagogue, or other nonprofit. Who are you to tell me what to do with my money? Well, it's not me, all right?
It's in the Bible.
Yeah, thank you very much, all right? It's there. And, hey, Bob, you know what? I don't do church. I get it, okay? Don't do church. Give it to your nonprofit then, all right? There are a lot of reasons not to do church. I didn't say there's a lot of reasons not to be spiritual. There's a lot of reasons not to do church. All right? We'll talk about that in a second. But donate 10% of your time. Here's what, hey, Bob, there's no way. Here's what the math guy in me knows. I know. True statement, or true or false? Ready? Not a trick question. 100% of 50 grand is greater than 90% of 50 grand. True. Okay? 50 grand versus 45 grand, right? So 50 grand's bigger. Okay? 100% of 50 grand is smaller than 90% of 200 grand. Also true, right? I can never live on 90%. I get it, all right? But you're thinking 90% of your limit, all right? I'm telling you that when you start to do this and you do it on the front side, even when it's sacrificial, right? It happens. I don't know. Don't ask me to explain it. I can't. I can just show you the results in my own life, all right? I'm just telling you, and I know you're offended, and that's okay. All right? Because if you left here unoffended, then I haven't done my job. All right? That's just the way it is. Worship once a week. Again, Bob, you know why churches are bad? Got a secret for you. They're filled with people. And people are bad. Not all right? But is it going to be perfect? By the way, if you find the perfect church, don't go, because as soon as you step in the doors, it's no longer perfect. Right? So don't go. I'm just telling you, you need to go hang out with like-minded people. Is it okay? You know what? Do you expect to go to the hospital and find nobody sick? Right? Who goes to church? People that need help, right? I need help. We all need help. We all help each other, right? Go hang out with some like-minded people. I'm just telling you to do that. And if you're totally de-churched, you're going to give me the long list. Jim Baker and all the people that are just a bunch of televangelists and da-da-da. I get it, man. People are screwed up. Just go find a good one. Yeah. All right? There are good churches out there. All right? Don't tell me about all the bad. I get it. All right? Tell me about some of the good. That's what I want to hear about. Okay? All right. All of this is going to require discipline and accountability. It's not going to be easy, but here are LYs. Ready? Here we go. It will be a defining moment in your life, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, physically, and then financially. We take care of the first LY, the first 4 LYs. Number 5 takes care of itself. I'm just telling you, right? It just happens. It's the way it goes. All right, so we got to hurry. This is simple. I got this. Here's our basic meeting agenda. We're going to spend 20 minutes of laser focus on corn planting. I'm going to help you figure out how to meet people. How do I get eyeball to eyeball with people? We'll figure it out. We're going to spend 20 minutes answering your questions, solving your problems. All right, basically, I will be the excuse overcomer. All right? Yeah, but I don't have anybody who wants to do. How do I get a bank-owned open house? All right? We just call bank-owned listing agents. But they don't answer the phone. I get it. So that's why you text them and email them and everything else. And you say, you make it a win-win. All right? We'll teach you how to do it. I got a great templated email that works. All right? Go through. 20 minutes of laser focus on orange grove planning. How are we going to grow our annuity? What are we going to do to work on that? Then, here it is. Most of our time is going to be spent here. Raw, pure accountability. Open. We agree not to judge each other, all right? But it's time to, here's where the rubber meets the road. This is our, hi, my name's Margot. Hi, Margot. I didn't, you know, we'll give you your 1 week chip. All right? Okay. Let's get it done. All right. This and one more session in 2 weeks will be live. Now, here's what we're going to do. I have the next one booked. It's actually going to ship to a Tuesday. I've got to get these classroom settings. We're going to be down at a, not Wesley Chapel. All right, we're going to be in a Hampton Inn in Clearwater, and it's going to be Tuesday the 27th. Okay? And that will be live, all right, just like this. I just got to be honest with you. I've learned part of me keeping myself healthy is not doing 5 of these in a week too often. All right? So, because I'm doing 5 this week, in 2 weeks I'll do 5 of them again. All right? Then after that, we're going to shift to 1 time a week, and I'll be, or every other week, but 1 time I'll be live somewhere, whether it be in Tampa Bay, and maybe we'll make it Wesley Chapel. You never know. All right? If you're nice enough to me and you find out what I like and what kind of coffee I drink. We'll be live one place in Tampa Bay, but then we'll Facebook Live it to everybody else. But here's the trick. When I Facebook Live it, okay, do not, I know you can, sit at home in your fuzzy bunny slippers, all right, and just watch. Okay, but what's going to happen? What are you going to lose? You're going to lose that group dynamic. I'm going to encourage you, don't have to get together in groups this size, but at least of 4 or 5. Sarah, you plan on hosting any May potentially? Okay, Sarah would host one at her office. Maybe other people will step up. Okay, do one at your office. Okay, we'll make it known. The Facebook group page you can follow, but I'd encourage you at least groups of 4 or 5 that you can get together and watch it live. Okay, on Facebook Live, and then we'll have a live session where we all come together 2 more times after this other one, right? So we'll work the schedule out, but you'll see it. Okay, total of 8 sessions all combined. All right, we're going to build. All right, we're going to listen to this stuff and we're going to grow, okay? Facebook Lives, this is simple?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you do. All right, so here you're ready. Here's your assignment. Okay, you need to go get a copy of The 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Maher, M-A-H-E-R.
Got it.
Okay, already got it? That's great. If you've already read it, reread it.
Yep.
Okay? You got 2 weeks. It's an easy read. Anybody read it? Easy read, yes or no?
Yes.
Easy read. It's a narrative, it's a story. Listen to it. You can get it for probably $3.95 on Amazon or whatever, okay? Okay, go get it. It's one book I highly suggest you might want to pick up the physical copy of it, all right? Because I know our millennials love to, I can highlight it on my Nook and on my phone and I can, whatever, okay? All right, okay, all right. But this is one where I like seeing it highlighted and really pour into it, okay? It's something you're going to go back and reference over and over and over again, okay? Come with an accountability partner in mind. Bring someone else with you next time. Join our Facebook group page. Ever see this down here? Anybody here not part of the Facebook group? Okay, here it is. It's a private group, so we have to give you permission to get in. Facebook.com/groups/the100K Club. Somebody have it? Can you pull it up on your phone? Just so we can show them, because there's a couple different 100Ks out there, so you want to make sure you're looking for the right one. It's black background, green, the 100K Club, and it says Ideas, Inspiration, Implementation. About 1,400 agents in there. Can everybody see that? Looks like that. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Okay, the 100K Club. Here's the rules, all right? Make sure you read the rules of engagement. You are not allowed to post listings. We've got 1,400 agents. If everybody says, I got a new listing, okay, guess what? We stop looking at the page. All right, but it's a great source for me to deliver information to you about scheduling, and also for you to help each other. It is a lot of help going on in there. Hey, struggling with got a home to sell contingency. What do you think we should do? Boom, boom, boom. All the information's there. Make sure you join that. Find a way to be around other like-minded people. Don't watch who you hang out with. Okay, it's okay to unfriend people. Begin to create new habits. Become their slave. We're going to talk about that later. What's our next book we're going to read? Is about creating new habits and become their slave. Love it. Decide that you will finish this time. This is simple.
I got this.
Any questions I can answer for you about scheduling, about how we're going to do it, anything I've said, anything I've offended you with, just we can talk about it later. Anybody? Question? Anybody got it? All right. It's already 11:30. Copy the PowerPoint will be listed up on after I teach in Jacksonville on Friday. So keep an eye out there if you want the PowerPoint there. Good? Questions? Make sure you exchange cards. Sarah.
Do you have the schedule for all of them already?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll
help me.
Yeah, where you? Yeah, I will get that ASAP.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. And if you want to see Sherry afterwards about getting some leads at the flea markets, go for it. All right. Have a great day. If you need anything, let me know. Yes.